Welcome to my National Podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Today is Sunday. You know what we got for Sunday? We got our boy Mike in the studio. Oh, baby, here we go. Woo! Every day, baby. Every Sunday coming at you. You know what I mean? Oh, man, what's been going on with you, brother?
Not much. Excited to be back. Always excited to help the people out, get some entertainment going, This is one of the more relaxing parts of my week versus during the week.
You and me both, brother. Woo! I'll be looking forward to Sunday. I'll be like, I can't wait for fucking Sunday, man. Because we are about to show some crazy-ass videos sent by you motherfuckers. God damn. Ever since we started doing the Sunday episode, man, you guys have just been sending video after video after video. Like, oh, react to this. Oh, react to that. Oh, react to this. Man, it's been good. Been good. There's gonna be some crazy ones today. Some ones sent in by our boy here, a couple by me, a lot by you guys. I was asking a bit of the community inside of the comments and stuff like that. Do you guys want us to do more videos, or do you guys want us to kind of stick to doing threads and scenarios and stuff like that? You guys absolutely love the videos, so we're gonna do more of the videos. We still are gonna be doing the scenario segments, but that obviously will be toward the end of the episode. But just know we won't be doing as many of them. All right. So just know that, because we're going to be doing more videos. That means we're going to be doing a little less on that. We can't have like 3-4 hour podcasts. This dude's a father and he's got places to be. You know what I mean? So we gotta keep it in there. So I just want you guys to know that and understand that. That way there is no like, oh my God, you didn't do my scenario last Sunday. And I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? So, all right, we're going to jump right into it, though. This first one, Jesus Christ, I didn't watch it. I just saw what we're seeing right now, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So, yeah. So we're just gonna jump right on into it, man. We're gonna cold turkey right on into it. All right.
You don't tell me what the fuck to do no more, bro.
Oh shit.
Stop.
Bro, women are not afraid to go to jail.
Y'all not afraid enough.
Yeah, bro, that's crazy.
Why is he running? Come on, cameraman, don't die. We need to see everything.
Cameraman, don't die. Oh, yeah, nah, bro. Yo, what is she doing? Okay. Rig 4. Your thoughts.
Look, I'll be honest. Some women do deserve to get a little pop in the mouth every now and then.
Yeah, man, because there ain't no way you grabbing my computer off the fucking thing and slant. No,
I work too hard. I do put in too many hours, too much mental capacity for you to just come in because you're upset and smash things, right?
Man.
Some of you guys just do deserve to get a little bit of backlash. But I'm not for just all this beating women and junk like that. If she's doing stuff like
that, you deserve to get suplexed at least.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna hit you. I ain't gonna close fist you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's reserved for a man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll open palm that face though. But my thing is if you're gonna be that violent, you have to be suplexed and thrown out at that point. Like, I get it. I get why he was like running away from her and all this kind of stuff, because he looks at it like, the moment I do something, she's gonna flip that shit on me and I'm gonna be the one in cuffs, you know. And it's just like, bruh, at that point, I get it, I completely understand, but it's like, bro, don't just let her destroy your shit.
Yeah,
she ain't paying for that.
Yeah,
and I don't know who's gonna make her pay for that.
And that's why I'm like, it just, for me, right, especially once she broke in with the brick and like slid through the window, I just wouldn't take the risk of her only destroying property. I do understand that for him, he probably thought she would just destroy property and fuck things up, but you're never really gonna know whether or not a woman is gonna get so pissed beyond to the point of like no return, where she sees you being like, all right, dude, like, you got to get out of here, and she's like, well, I'm not getting enough reaction, so I'll just like grab a weapon or actually like hurt you. You know
that's what I was thinking,
and that's why I'm like, yeah, because I couldn't take that risk.
When she went to the kitchen, I so thought she was going for a knife.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Because she was that mad, and he wasn't getting like even madder at her destroying more stuff. So she was just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go to the kitchen.
Yeah,
and that's where I thought she was like, all right, well, I'm a you get mad, you know, bruh.
And that's why I'm like, woo. One, I get it. He wanted the evidence. He wanted it to be known, like, hey, I didn't do shit to her, in case she, like, he called the cops, and then she's like, yeah, let me just do some shit to myself and say he did it.
Yeah.
And then two, but like at the same time, you just never know what she's gonna end up doing, because you're not getting mad enough for her. She's not getting the reaction or whatever. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, that's why I was like, I would not, as soon as she broke that window, probably call the police, and then from there, I'd be like, dude, you're not coming in the house, you know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. 100% bro. Protect yourselves, bro.
For sure.
Yeah. All right, let's get to this next one. Let's see, here we go. Jesus, bro.
It's hilarious.
Damn.
He's doing exactly what he should be doing.
No, he's not. He's sitting there taking that stupid shit when you need to get up and just walk away. I don't know why dudes just sit there and they just take that. I would have just got up, peace, walked the fuck away. Walk away, bro. As far as how he reacted, sure. Like, I give him that. Yeah, you didn't blow it back at her and do all that stuff. Sure, I give you that. But you don't have to sit there and take that. Cool. You know what? We're not even going on this flight. Fuck this shit. I'm up out of here. Leaving. You can stay here by yourself. Find a way to get home. And when you do get home, all your shit's gonna be out the door. Like, bruh, my thing is dudes just, for some reason, choose to not have self-respect for themselves. Don't know why. Because if the roles were reversed, and he was the one yelling and hooting and hollering and all that stuff, you want to know what she would have done? She would have just walked the fuck out. She'd have just been like, peace, nigga, goodbye. And she would have taken the car, drove off, and left him there. It's like, bro, you got to be able to do that shit back to her. But some dudes are just like, oh, I don't want to lose her, though. And, you know, she's just being emotional right now. It's cool. Like, we'll get past it. And it's like, no, bruh. No, that's just a precursor. And I guarantee for him, he's been dealing with this shit. He's
used to it.
Yeah. He's so fucking used to it. He's just like, yep, it's my life. Is what it is. Just losing all self-respect for myself.
I think it depends, because if she, for more times than not, is like good to him, better to him, does what she needs to do in the relationship, then it's like, yeah, she's gonna blow up in public. You know, it's just like with my with kids, really, right? Like my kids throw a temper tantrum in the store, and I'm like, yeah, you know, go ahead, look, this is what she does. You know, she's throwing a fit, throwing herself all over the floor, but then eventually she's gonna calm down, and then you know we still get her to. Get her home. She does what she needs to do. You know, she gets consequences, of course. You know, but if she's still like more of the time than not being a good woman in this case, right? Then like I don't see why not. You know, you blow up. That's kind of just how they are. You know, like you can't expect them to never be crazy. So it's
I get that, but what you're doing is you're infantilizing an adult. Like, bro, you're an adult. Like, if you can't control your emotions and understand, like, there's a time and place. Like, if she did this and we're in the car, okay, I could see it like that. You're blowing up, you're emotional, I understand. But if you choose to do this in front of all these people and then infantilize her like, oh, well, you know, she does that. She throws a temper tantrum. Yeah. It is what it is. Like, there's a time and a place. Like, you're an adult. You know, you should understand when to do these things. Like I said, I would completely understand if she did this in the comfort of her own home. If she did this in our car, she took me to like maybe a private part where there's not so many people. It's more of just her and I, and we're having a conversation. Off to the side. We're not in the middle of the fucking airport. Like, that right there is the reason why I have such a problem with it, where I'm like, nah, bro, we're done with this. I'm not dealing with this. I'm not going to continue to deal with this because you're not an adult. You want to sit there and you want to throw a temper tantrum like a child, and you want everybody to see it and all this. No, bro, we're not doing that. And then she's over here looking at other people like, you're fucking weird. Duh, duh, duh. Now, if that man walks over and slaps the absolute taste out your mouth, now I gotta defend this bitch that is embarrassing me. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. It's like, it's not the same as a child. It's one of those things where it's like, dude, time and place. You're an adult and you know when to do these things. For her, I think she's just so used to getting away with that because he doesn't do anything about it. He doesn't get up, do what he needs to do, and that's why I put the onus kind of on him, because it's like you said, woman is gonna be a woman, bro.
Yeah,
she's gonna be emotional and crazy no matter what. But you as the man, bro, you need to show frame and be like, I'm not tolerating this. The moment she starts yelling and hooting and hollering, you get up, you walk away. Like,
I mean, but that's true, you know. But I think the key point here, why I was like, I think in this scenario where she was expressing herself of like, well, you were rushing me to the point where I was sick, and like, you know, I envision the scenario of like him saying like, bitch, we gotta go, you know, and then she's like doing all that she can to like be on his schedule, you know, but then when things cool down where like they finally made it, they're on time again, she was like, I didn't like that because I felt bad, you know what I mean? So like, I think what I was getting at earlier of like, she does what she needs to do. It's just that one time she got, not one time, but in that moment she got pissed off. Is like, it does seem like she probably follows his lead pretty well. If she's rushing to the point where she's getting sick, she ignored her own bodily autonomy to follow his lead. So it's not to say that he's probably not doing what he needs to do, but at the same time, I get where you're coming from, because at the end of the day, there's not really a reason to throw a temper tantrum in a public place. What I'm more so getting at is he's probably tolerating it because she usually most of the time is not doing some shit like that. She is following his lead, and that's why he's like, for him it's worth it, whereas for us we'd be like, all right, you're staying at the airport, stupid.
I'm Black Suit Spider-Man. You jumping off that building, Mary Jane.
You're hitting the ground. I don't know what to tell you.
I get it.
That's what I'm getting at. It's like for him, it's probably he's like seen the proof where it's like, you know, this is worth it. You know, nothing ever really comes of it. She annoys me, and then we get the fuck over it, and then she shuts the fuck up. Does what I say.
In your opinion, though, you know, him staying in that situation, is that him having self-respect for himself or not? Given your point of view of like, oh, you know, it's worth it to me, and you know, she's just throwing a temper tantrum, and then we'll get over it.
Yeah.
Given that, is him tolerating that, having self-respect for himself, in your opinion?
Honestly, it's kind of hard to tell because this is very outside looking in, you know, very small picture compared to the bigger picture.
Sure.
However, I would say, just based off, like, I'll just say for, like, the binary purpose, right? If she does this very often and he kind of just, like, gets bitched out all the time and does not stand up for himself and kind of just rolls over and takes it, absolutely fucking not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, however, if, like, months go by and she's usually not like this and she does everything, like she cooks for him, cleans for him, whatever, tries to make his life easier, right? Like most of the time than not is trying her absolute hardest, but then sometimes blows up at wrong times. And he's like, yeah, this is worth it. Like I could see him, like, that's self-respect because this is not a usual thing and he might be trying to actually work on her with it.
Okay.
And that's why he's like, you know, this is just one of those times where it's still happening, but we've already talked about this, and she's like, later on when she calms down, she'll understand, shut the fuck up, and realize she still needs work to do. You know what I mean? So, like,
all right.
For that scenario, I would say self-respect. For the scenario of, like, just being a little cuck boy, then no. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that's why, like, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt and assuming that he's leading right, and this is just something that they're trying to work on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. All right. So with this one, did you want to give background to it, or you just want to go right on into it?
There's like a description on
The screen.
on the screen of it, so I kind of just want to get right into it because it's a little self-explanatory. But this is more so for the people that are in our comment section saying like, "It's scripted. I'm fucking stupid." Yeah, I mean, like
those retards. Scripted.
Yeah.
Like, shut up, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't. Just because the video is scripted does not change the fact that this does happen to real people. It's why we analyze it. It's why we talk about it. Because if these things aren't talked about, then guess what? There's a lot of guys out here that are just getting their girl stolen, bro.
Yeah.
This happens every night, mind you. Every night, niggas are getting their girl stolen by rappers, by dudes who are, you know, fake flexing and all that, bro.
Yeah, just more confidence.
Yeah.
All it takes is a bit more confidence, and then if you pair that with like favorable attributes, then you're done. You're cooked.
Your girl is getting stolen, bruh. Like, bruh, it just because the video is fake does not mean the scenario isn't.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. But hey, I applaud you for finding a real video.
Yeah.
So fuck you, haters. You hating ass niggas.
Yeah, fact.
All right, so the caption is caught red-handed. A man walks into the gym with his newborn baby only to find his wife on her trainer's lap. Oh, damn, nigga. The ultimate betrayal caught on camera. All right, so let's see what's up. They might, okay, they can read it. All right, good. All right. I didn't know if our camera down at the bottom was covering it, but.
Caught red-handed, a man walks into the gym with his newborn baby only to find his wife on her trainer's lap. Damn. Not with the baby in your hand, though. Bro, my biggest pet peeve is, bitch, what are you going to the gym for? Fucking saving up space on your another. Do you know what sucks?
All
So
right, you just shut the hell up.
Yeah. You were talking through the whole fucking video. Nobody cared.
Yeah, no one cares about what you had to say.
Yeah, nobody cared. Because she's like, why are you at the gym, bro? Because she had a baby. Stupid. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you, bro?
We know why you're not at the gym. You shut that shit up. God damn it.
We know why your fat ass ain't at the gym.
Yeah, we understand why you're not at the gym. Stop it.
Exactly.
She like, why would someone be at the gym? Anyways, we're getting off topic.
We are.
God damn. Okay.
Roasting her. But my thing is like, this is why I tell guys all the time, bro, to stay in the gym and keep your physique up, man. Because if you see in the video, you can hardly see the guy, but you can see him compared to the trainer guy. Like, the trainer guy is fucking stacked, and he's dad bodding it up.
Right.
And women will sit there and they will say it until they're blue in the face. I love dad bods. No, they don't, bruh. No, they fucking don't. And they never will. They will always go with the more in shape, muscular guy. That just is what it is. It's attractive regardless. And that's why it's like, bro, even if your girl's having a baby and, you know, doing all that, whatever, or like she's gaining weight or whatnot, you don't like step away from your training and all that kind of stuff just because you're like, I don't have to train as hard, because my girl's getting fatter, so if I gain a little weight, it doesn't matter. Like, no, bruh, no, you gotta.
You know where I think that it came from though, like the whole I love dad bod shit is like, one, I think women had heard of like dad strength where like you get that jump from being like a normal strong dude to like, all right, now I have like an emotional driver behind my strength. So you get that jump of extra strength from being a dad. And so they take dad bods as like, all right, this guy's got some hidden power that's like kind of unmatched,
Yeah.
And then there's also, but I think the other part of that, which is more majority, is just like these Insta hoes or like OF models or whatever kind of just play into that. So like the cuck boy dad bods out there just pay for their subscription because like, oh, she finds me attractive, so of course I'm gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they know who their fans are.
Yeah, so that I feel like that's where that kind of stuff just started coming into play.
That's true.
And then I mean, it's like he said, like it's so hard. It's not hard, but it's so hard to keep a woman in check per se when she's being led by another dude in another part of her life. You know what I mean? And so this is
your
what...
girl having a trainer is a fail, bro.
Yeah.
Like, nah.
Yeah, if she would rather put that responsibility or that, like, or have that aspect of her life taken care of by another man, you're more than likely have lost. You know what I mean? Like, I say more than likely because obviously there's women out there like, no, I have a male personal trainer. Yeah, whatever, right? But you letting another man lead you and shit is absolutely crazy. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, he's not, because then he's gonna like, oh yeah, your body's looking so nice. Like, we're gonna get that booty fat, and it's like, I'm not saying this because I'm just like insecure. I go to a gym where there's male personal trainers and like you just hear them talk to their female clients and you're like, yeah, I would not want my wife just getting talked to like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And more importantly,
or
you're
like
inviting that kind of energy into your relationship.
Yeah.
The fact that like you're allowing another man to compliment you to that level, another man have physical access to you to that level.
Yeah.
Like you're inviting that to your relationship. That's what it tells me.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you're willing to have a male trainer instead of letting your husband be the one to train you. And that's why I say, guys, get in the fucking gym.
Yeah.
Know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that way when your girl's like, oh, I want to go to the gym, you go with her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You go with her, you work out with her, you guys train together, whether it's at the gym or at home. And it's like you're keeping your physique up, so attraction stays. And then you're also able to lead her in this because I guarantee you that dude, he's probably never been to a gym a day in his life. He's probably never lifted a single fucking weight. And so she looked at it like, well, I'm going to have to go get a trainer. I'm going to have to go get somebody to help me do it because my husband is useless in this field.
Yeah.
He may not be useless in the other fields. He may be great in the other fields. But in this, he's not.
Yeah.
Like, as a guy, especially nowadays, bro, you got to be a jack of all trades. You got to know how to do everything. Yeah. Because if your girl wants to get into it, man, you got to be the one to lead her into it. Because if you don't, another man will.
Yeah.
And the thing is if it's such an importance and it's such an interest to her, that man is going to look even more attractive.
Yeah.
And
that's why, and people will be like, oh, well, that's not true. Like, you guys are just, no, because there's nothing stopping a woman from looking for a female trainer.
Nothing stopping her, bro.
Especially when they want to look a particular way for their man. They're going to be like, all right, well, I like the way this female trainer gets people, or like the results that they get.
Or she even looks.
Yeah.
Like,
or
how do I look like that?
Yeah. How do I look like that? Whatever the case may be, so I can look better for my man. But for you to be like, no, I will choose a male trainer, you don't want to look better for your man. You want to look better for your trainer and have him touching, rubbing all over you and telling you fucking we're going to get that booty fat and shit's looking juicy and yeah.
Damn.
So.
No, thank you.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, you can't justify having a male trainer. You just can't. You can't. Especially with the women fighting for let's get female-only gyms, yada, yada, yada.
Man, okay, look. Here's the reason why there'll never be female gyms again. There has been female gyms, and those female gyms went fucking bankrupt, and no one went to them. You want to know why? Is because women enjoy going to gyms with men. I go to the gym at least 3 times a week, all right? And when I go to the gym, where are the women concentrated? They're in the fucking weight section, bro. Where are they doing squats? Next to the bench press. The fuck are we talking about, bro? They are not there to work out specifically. There are some women that do go and they just work out and leave. I've seen a lot of them. I know a couple girls from my gym that literally go, work out, and leave. I've talked to them just because I see them at the gym all the time. And, you know, we hi, bye, whatever the case may be. But there are so many women, I would say at least 80% go and they just walk around the weight section. And I know that because I'll be sitting there in the middle of my set, you know, hitting dumbbell curls, and I just see a girl, and this is the fifth, sixth time she's walked past me looking in the mirror, and I'm like, bro, go do something. But for some reason, you want me to look at you. You want me to say something to you. I don't know. I have no idea what it is. But you keep walking past. You'll see another guy. He'll be on the bench press. And they saunter on past. And they'll double back around. And I'm like, bro, you haven't done a workout in the last 20 minutes. The fuck are you here for? It just is what it is, man. Yeah. And then the girls who really go to work out, you'll notice they don't wear athleisure or athwear and stuff like that. They wear pump covers.
Yeah.
They wear pump covers. Every girl that I know that goes to the gym to actually go there, work out, and go home, they wear pump covers. So if you're one of those women who goes to the gym, you wear pump covers, you're actually there to work out. You don't want anybody really looking at you like that. You're there to work out, get your shit done, and go. You know, the only time you do take your pump cover off is, you know, when you're going to take a picture. I get that. I take pictures of my pump all the time. I'll be looking big as fuck with my pump. I'll be like, oh, The Rock Johnson, you know. But that's what I'm saying. So it's like there is a difference. And that's why there'll never be female gyms. They've tried it already. It's failed. Because women don't go to gyms. There's even been gyms that have opened up women-only sections. Yeah. And they're empty.
Yeah.
Fucking empty. There's like one girl there.
Yeah.
You know, out of the other 20 bitches that are just out on the main floor. And it's like, bro, get the fuck out of here, man. All right. You guys let us know what you think about that one in the comments. This one, I want to get your take on this one because I have a pretty unique take, but I want to get yours.
All right.
All right. So we're going to get into this one.
I had a nice night tonight, and a little forward for a first date.
I love you. Let's have a future together.
Oh my god.
I've been loving you the moment I first saw you.
It's only been 6 hours. But okay. Oh. I mean, would you like to come in? Oh.
All right.
Oh my god.
I want to know your thoughts on this.
Yeah, it's just for me. It's like this was more so just like a be safe out there because there are dudes that do shit like this, you know. And then I would just say, honestly, I had a take, and then like after rewatching, I was like, I don't know if that really makes sense because I was like, you know, this dude strikes me as the kind to be like, you know what, dude? I'm going to drop everything in life and follow this girl around, make sure that, you know, if she denies me, whatever the case may be, like she has no other option, you know? And my take was just going to be more so like, you got to get more life experience so you don't end up like this, you know? Because we've only been together for 6 hours. And I already love you. Let's start a future. Yada, yada, yada. That was like a little desperate, you know? It was like, I finally caught one. I'm going to cling on as hard as I can. And so that was like really my first take.
Okay.
But I'm curious as to what you're saying because now that I rewatch it, like the confidence in this man is kind of like striking me a little different this time.
Okay. Here's what I think. I think homie low-key won. And the reason why is because he didn't sit there and pussyfoot around.
Right.
He just took what he wanted. You know what I mean? She got to the door. She turned around and jingled them keys, and he went straight for a kiss. She's like, oh, wow. That was a little straightforward. And what a lot of guys would do is they would take that as like, oh, man, she didn't like it. He was like, nah, bitch, I'm doubling down.
Yeah.
Doubling down. I like you. I want to be with you. Let's start a fucking future together. Smack and kisses her again. She's like, oh, because I think not enough guys are assertive anymore with women and what they want out of the woman. And for him, he looked at it like, bro, I don't give a fuck if she accepts me or not. I'm gonna be straightforward and lay it all out on the table for her.
Facts.
It is what it is. If she takes me, cool. If she doesn't, walking off, baby. I got a League of Legends game ready to go. You know, so that to me is where, like, I do understand what you're saying. 1,000%. Be careful. Okay. Do understand that 1,000%. But in this specific instance, I think the reason why she was just like, do you want to come inside, is because she was so blown away at the fact that he was so straightforward. He was assertive. He had a dominance about him that wasn't necessarily like coming off too strong or try hardish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because when I first watched this video, I was just like, oh shit, he kissed her. Okay. And then he was like, oh my God, I love you. I want to be in a relationship forever. And I was like, that's where you kind of fucked it up, my guy.
Yeah.
But then he kissed her again, and she was just like, oh my God. And I started to notice her side of it.
Yeah.
I stopped looking at him and I started looking at her. And I'm like, wait a minute. No. This is not an L. This is a W.
Yeah.
Because she is eating this up.
Yeah.
She is enjoying this. She's like, oh my God. This is a guy that doesn't give a fuck. He's taking charge. He's taking what he wants. I'm about it. So I was like, okay, W mans. All right. And what I got out of it was not enough guys are assertive.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are very passive with girls. They sit there and they wait for her to make the move, and they sit there and they wait for the sign, and they need a sign that's as big as fucking Texas, you know, in order to kiss a girl. And a lot of times I give the advice of just fucking lean in, dude.
Yeah.
Just lean in. She'll tell you. If she doesn't move, you kiss.
Yeah.
If she moves, you back. Oh, shit. Oh, my bad. I thought, you know, that was the move. It is what it is. Like, be that assertive guy. So that's what I got from it, you know, after, because I had to watch it 2 or 3 times. I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't watch it just once and have this analysis. No, I had to watch it 2 or 3 times, because then I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm looking at this wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. W mans.
Just be careful, because you could come off the wrong way.
100%.
Especially with
100%.
you being lonely. So yeah, I think that's W.
Yeah. All right. So this next one, I got sent. A girl had sent me this one, and I was just like, I love this video. Absolutely love it. I want to get your thoughts on it. Okay.
자기야. 이것 좀. 자기야. 자기야.
Two blades like it's nothing. No.
자기야. 자기야.
Still bark sideways. All right, your thoughts.
It's very interesting, right? Because we talk about this could get deep, but we talk about the difference in the dynamic between the Western culture and the Eastern culture, right? Where, you know, you bring it up where it's like, do you want your independence, or do you want like the I guess the easier life that comes with being like a submissive woman, you know? And this lady is showing that prime example of, yeah, can I do shit myself? 100%. But if, one, I can empower my man to make sure that, you know, he feels good about himself, and we also have that happy relationship, then, like, why not, you know, relinquish some of that independence for the betterment of our relationship, you know? Because at the end of the day, she's not making herself any less happy by doing shit this way, you know what I mean? He thinks he's fucking top dog, whatever, yada yada yada, and she also is like, you know, this is great. I make my man happy, he gets to feel happy, and, you know, shit gets done for me, you know what I mean? Where it's like, you're not losing autonomy by being this way, you're just helping your community out, you know what I mean? And then from there, it just makes a more conducive environment, whereas, you know, this Western culture shit where it's like, this is the expectation, or, you know, he can't do this, or if he wanted to he would, or like, you know, like, I think more so on the Eastern side they look at it as like, this is how things run the most smooth, whereas on the Western culture they're like, oh, it's all about oppression, holding me down, yada yada yada, and then no one's fucking happy. And it's like, what? No one's trying to have you lose your autonomy. We're just trying to have a happy dynamic, and for you to not be able to contribute to that is just, you know, your own doing. Where, like, that's, I think, the problem that we have on these Western versus Eastern relationship models, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because my thing is a lot of women ask, oh, well, what do men want then? That right there. Like, when a man says that I want to feel appreciated, that right there, like, you can do these things where it's like, yes, you can do them, but have your man help you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Help him feel appreciated. Help him feel respected. Help him feel a little loved. Because that's what we want to do anyway. We live for that shit. Yeah. It's what men are built and designed to do. It's why we built the world the way that we've built it. We've modernized the world so much for women. We didn't modernize it for the man.
Right.
You know, we modernized it for the women. We made buildings completely safe for women. We made cars safe for women. We made infrastructure as well as emergency services and all these kind of things. We've come up with all of these systems and these infrastructures to make life easy for women.
Yeah.
We've done that. And all we ask is just to keep helping.
Yeah.
That's just what we're bred to do. And so the thing is when you guys have this hyper independence and you're like, oh, I don't need a man, and my husband doesn't, help me with anything. It's like, bro, because you don't give him space to help you.
Yeah.
If you gave him that healthy space to help you, then guess what? He'd be a lot happier in that relationship. You'd be a lot happier in that relationship. He'd want to help a lot more often. But the thing is I think in a lot of modern relationships today is the guy gets so used to the girl just doing everything, so he's just like, all right, cool, dude, I'm not going to do anything. And then that frustrates her. Yeah. And then in her frustration, she's like, why aren't you doing anything? And you're like, well, when I do something, then, you just do it. And so she's like, oh, but I want you to do it. It's like, you're not giving that space to do it. It's not you, like he said, it's not you being helpless. It's not you giving up autonomy or your independence. No, it's just you allowing your man to do what he is biologically designed to do.
Yeah.
Is to help you, the woman. It's what it is.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I wanted to get your thought process. You thought exactly the same thing as me with that video.
Now, I will say this only will work if you're doing your side as well, because you can't not do the woman side of like helping make his life easier and then only calling on him to like, you know what I mean? Like, yes, we do want to do things for you. However, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, of course, because there's people like there's women that are like, yeah, I ask my man for help all the time, and he still says no. And it's like, well, you're probably not doing your end of the bargain when he calls on you.
True, Yeah. You have to be able to kind of be on that other end, like, hey, babe, can you can you wash my clothes so that way I can go to bed earlier and then I can wake up because I early meeting or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh no, I don't want to do it, and oh why, you can do it yourself, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Or, oh, I'm not your mom, and it's just like, bro, I need you to fill in this small gap for me. If you could do that, that helps me out a lot. Yeah, and so I 100% agree with that.
I'm more than sure I'll have to find one of those videos. I'm more than sure you've seen, and people out there have seen those like Asian cleaning videos where like the woman's like husband's coming home in 5 minutes or something, and then she's like vacuuming, mopping, like sweeping, like cleaning like the bathroom. She's like cooking all at the same time because like they have some fancy gadgets that do like 20 things in one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, and she does all that so when he gets home he can eat, take off his clothes, get his shit washed, and then help her with what she needs to do around the house, you know what I mean? There's like a balance to the relationship where we have the women on our end in Western culture that like sit around all day and like, yeah, I didn't have time to cook anything. I was watching Instagram reels of these cute dogs and shit like that.
Yeah, and it's like, bro, you had all day. It takes like an hour and a half. And that's the thing, like, that's why I've kind of gotten used to doing all those things. That way it's like when I am in a relationship, I'm like, nah, I know exactly how long it takes to do all these things.
Yeah.
It takes me an hour and a half. It shouldn't take you any more than that, But it just, that's the culture and that's just the way it is. Right. It is what it is. All right. This one is going to be a little more controversial, but we've talked about this before. Yeah. We've talked about it before. So, but I want you to kind of, I guess, hear the back and forth and then give your, I guess, opinion on it. All right. All right.
5 and 18.
I think if you're older than like
29,
23 or 24, you shouldn't be dating someone fresh out of high school.
Yeah, what is the fresh out of high school thing?
Because you're in a different stage.
You could also be a CEO at 18,
you're
right?
In a different stage of life. Yeah, Andrew, are most 18-year-old women CEOs?
Yeah, are most 18-year-old women dating 35-year-old men?
No, and they shouldn't be.
Yeah, but the thing is like when it comes to attraction, right? Most people are generally attracted and meet people within their same demographics and groups. That is the case with all dating.
Sure.
So if it's the case that this woman is seeking older men, right? If she's seeking them, what's the problem?
I don't think she should be seeking people that old. I think it's going to lead to her.
So I consent. You don't consent.
No.
Yeah, you don't consent.
Hold on, but Andrew, you
don't consent to their relationship.
You make the same claim for people under the age of 18.
How?
You don't consent to someone who is 41 dating someone who's 16.
Yeah, but I gave justifications for that. You have given none for this. You just say it's hyper-predatory. Sometimes
still
maybe.
Predatory.
Sometimes maybe.
I think someone who wants to date someone that young, it's revealing.
Sometimes maybe.
I think more times than not.
No, I'm not sure. Like, you haven't made that case, though. That's the case I'm waiting for.
You're almost like asking me to argue against why it's wrong for adults to have sex with, like, who are fundamentally children at that point.
So 18-year-olds are fundamentally children?
I think to a 41-year-old, there's almost no difference. Virtual zero difference.
Can you tell me what makes 18-year-olds children?
I'm not saying children in the legal sense of the term.
No, that's not. Whatever sense. Whatever sense. What about 35?
All right.
It's very this is very controversial because there's no right or wrong. It's all perception because you can look at it in so many different lights and never get a straight answer because yes, you're 18 and I've had this conversation as well with people where like, yeah, you're 18, you're legally an adult, but you're mentally a child, right? And I think that's more so societally a side effect on the 18-year-old because of how people are treated. You know what I mean? Because if you talk to children like they're adults, they just start to become adults. You know what I mean? Let's not say just straight up adults, right?
However, but they kind of take on the characteristics of that.
Yeah, and so case in point, right? There are more and more and more younger people becoming, like he said, CEOs actually, or
1,000,
or very successful. And
especially online,
I know this because I take sales advice from an 19-year-old that is on YouTube. You know what I mean? He has worked so hard since he was 16 that, granted, I don't know how many people in the audience are in the sales space, but if you know who I'm talking about, you'll know, right? He worked so hard at the age of 16 that he ran away from home to become an entrepreneur, right? And he just tried his ass off until he's 18. Now he's a millionaire. And it's like, that's not usual. 100% that's not usual.
Yeah.
But he out-earns most men. You know what I mean? He out-earns me. He out-earns fucking, us, and like, that's not like a dig at us or anything. Like, that's, different stages and different lives, but like, by no means would I be like, would I see a 35-year-old woman look at him and be like, dude, that's a man, like, let me date him, and be like, all right, dude, like, you're a predator. You know what I mean? Like, no, because that man put himself in a position to be considered an adult.
But what if it's the other way around? Let's say it's 18-year-old girl. She did the same thing in sales, and then a 35-year-old man was just like, yo, I want to date that 18-year-old woman that is successful in sales. Would that be predatory or out of the ordinary?
Well, both cases are out of the ordinary.
Well, yeah, for the 18-year-old, yes, but to the topic,
right?
Of
given
your example, let's say instead of a guy, that's a woman, and then a 35-year-old man is just like, oh, this woman is successful. She's 18 years old. I'd love to date her.
Yeah, and like that's the thing, right? Because, well, one, it's a little bit of a different dynamic because a woman is not going to want to be dating someone that's on the same level as them, right? Like 100% a 35-year-old woman could not be on the same level as a 18-year-old male entrepreneur. You know what I mean? And that's where I was getting at with that. And then so that case in point, right, of say that woman did become a CEO at 18, right? Then she would have to find this 35-year-old man would have to be a fucking 10x of her in order for that dynamic to really, really make sense. Because because
that would be my point is that 18-year-old girl is extremely successful. She's not going to date anybody in her age range because, to your point, she's making more money than majority, 90% of the men in her age range. So she's going to look for an older guy.
Yeah.
But because she's dating that 35-year-old dude who is above her or her level, is that predatory?
Right. And that's where, like, for that one, I would say no. For a lot of, well, not a lot of it. So you just never really know what's behind the idea of it, right? Because for me, it's not like I would just be like, if they're seeking out, like, let me just only try to date 18-year-olds, then that has predatory undertones, because it's like you want someone that's young for a specific reason, right? However, if it's happenstance of like, this girl stands out from women I've dated that are my age and women of her own age group, then I would say it's not predatory, because it's like she's a standalone. You know what I mean? But if you're just like, if it's some fucking like dumbass 18-year-old that's like, yeah, I still raise my hand to use the restroom and I have no life goals, and it's like, all right, what the fuck are you interested in her for other than her looks? You know what I mean? Then it's like that has weird undertones, in my opinion, right? But like I said, it really just, I think since it's so nuanced, each situation has to be looked at very carefully. But in a general sense, I would agree that it is a little weird, because them being in such different stages in life, it wouldn't make any sense just to date an 18-year-old.
Okay. I agree with the point of it's not predatory. The reason being is because throughout all of time, and the time that humans have been alive, women have always dated, married, and been with older men. That's always been a thing, whether it's kings and queens, whether this is arranged marriages, whether it's other cultures. Like, this has always been a thing. I think women have always sought out older men for that simple fact of, like, there is security and provision in an older guy versus a man my age, as to where men are looking for youth and beauty for fertility of my children. And that's why I think it's not weird, because of those biological truths. Like, that is what we look for when we look at women. We look at women for youth and beauty, for fertility of our children. They look at, they want pretty much like wise competence, so that way they understand that, okay, with wiseness comes competence, or with wiseness, becomes like a smart individual. A smart individual is able to have money, which grants security. And in that security, then I'm able to, he's able to take care of my offspring. And so that's why for me, I look at it like it's not in that sense, because that's how it's been throughout time. You know what I mean? Now we're in this kind of like new age of like, oh, you know, that's not normal and we don't do that anymore. But women are still seeking it. And I think they're still seeking it because biologically, deep down, aside from the societal norms, they still want that. Regardless, they're just like, no, my hindbrain is telling me that this is the archetype of man that I need to find. And that archetype of man so happens to be a man that is 10 to 15 years older than I am. And so, again, that's just why I don't think it's weird. I think it's a simple fact of she is following her natural biology, and that's something that we just have ingrained in us. And it's the reason why men seek out younger women. It's the reason why women seek out older men. And that's why I would never knock a 35-year-old dude dating an 18-year-old girl, because I'm like, biologically, they are drawn to each other for those reasons. And that's just the reason why I wouldn't say it's weird.
I don't know that, because I don't think the past at all is really good evidence for anything that's related to today's day and age, because there's not really concrete evidence in anything from the past that really makes sense now to today. Because, like, you think medically, the advancements that were so such phenomenal breakthroughs were fucking giving meth to housewives because they had poor moods, you know what I mean? Or they fucking back when when even way back as far as you can look, like, men were dating fucking 12, 14-year-olds because they were like, yeah, the younger they are, the fucking more fertile, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, well, they eventually figured out, like, that was probably destroying their bodies and they were way too young for that. And then you think about, like, they had fucking children as fucking in the workforce because they're like, the younger bodies can handle it, and they were killing fucking kids doing that, you know? There's still people to this day that believe fucking, you know, you're useless because of your race, because that was genetically put into them through the habitual habits that they had, you know? And it's like, that's where the adaptation and, like, evolution, if you will, of societal norms and thought processes and likes and dislikes all come into play now, where, like, people start to understand fundamentally and scientifically that things are a bit different. So biologically, just because, you know, and there's like many different things that still are being discovered, right? Like, recently I figured out that fight or flight instincts are still in us biologically because of how we used to have to worry about, like, the preservation of our tribes, where, like, hey, you would see particular individuals and immediately your subconscious would have a fight or flight instinct, because you're like, I know that one would consider some type of trait that they seen and locked onto as, like, weak or a threat, and they would immediately go beat the shit out of that person or exile them, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And that's still biologically in us, because that's just how biology works, but it's still not necessary for today's age, where we need to evolve away from that. Otherwise, that's why people still kill their children. Like, they give birth, like, women will give birth and kill their own children because there's a biological component that's still lingering around and doesn't need to be there, but it hasn't been evolved out of us yet, you know? And so that's where, for me, I couldn't get behind the idea of like every scenario. Yeah, it's fine, because at 18, I would still say, right, mentally, with the way society goes, you're just not ready for adulthood. You know what I mean? I.e., I still don't agree with people joining the military right at 17. You know what I mean? Because back in the day, they're like, dude, we need people as early as possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chesty Puller, a very famous Marine for having being very decorated, he lied and went in at 14 and fucking and he fought in the war, and they were kind of just like, dude, you're 14? Well, fuck it, dude, you're doing really well, so like we'll just keep you around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like that makes sense, because you see an outlier and you're like, all right, like this guy's proven himself, where it's like that shouldn't be the norm, where they're like, by no means did they see Chesty Puller and be like, let's back up the age to now 14. All 14-year-olds can do this. Yeah. And it's the same thing with like being 18, where like, do I believe that there could be such a nuanced case that makes it acceptable? Yeah, of course. But like, just anyone like right after you graduate, like do I see the benefit for a woman seeing a man that's already established in life and going for that? Yes. But do I see a benefit for a man to go for an 18-year-old in life from just fresh out of high school or just in that stage of life? No, I can't see that being a very usual or typical or very agreeable thing, you know?
Okay. Oh, well, see, I disagree, because history is actually the perfect blueprint for the reason why our societal norms are the way that they are, because of the fact that we went through kids dying in the workplace. Well, guess what? Now you can't work until, you're 17, 18. And if you do work younger, well, then you have to have work permits and all this kind of stuff by parents and things like that. Like, I think what we've done is we've taken these terrible situations and then we've perfected them, as far as like the reason why women aren't getting married off and all this kind of stuff and having babies at 14. Well, they looked at it like their bodies can't handle that shit. So we need to make it to where, no, this can't happen. But when is it the earliest acceptable time for women to be able to do it? Well, it's 18 years old. So they just normalized 18 instead of 14 back in the day. Arranged marriages are still a thing today. And the reason they're still a thing today is because they work. And they work because biologically that has been culturalized to be a blueprint that has worked in a lot of countries. And so again, I think history still has like a way. We've just kind of perfected it. We've taken it and we're like, yeah, okay, that didn't work. Like, no, 14 ain't the age. We got to bump that shit up. And I guarantee you they bumped it up. They were like 15. What about 15? That didn't work. 16. How about that? And then they got to a ripe age of 18 and they were like, well, this seems to be working. Then the societal norm kind of came about into it. And that's why I say it's still rooted in biology. It's just more of, we as people are not perfect. We're going to test things, try it out. And that's why I think even on the scientific side of it, I think the advancements, like you were saying, in either technologies or medicines or any of that, like you're always going to start at a basis. You're always going to start at a baseline and see if it works there. And if it doesn't, then you keep moving the baseline until something works. And then once it works, then you build off of that. And I think that's what they did. They started at like marrying their daughters off at 14 years old. And they were like, oh shit, bitches are dying in childbirth. They can't handle it. Their small hips can't handle this. They can't give birth to a baby and survive. So they were like, we need to up that because they're dying. And so I think they got to a point where they realized, you know what, 18 seems to be young enough to where they are fertile to have a very healthy baby, but at the same time they're able to have the wider hips to then survive that birth. Because more women have died in childbirth than they have in pretty much any other natural means. It's crazy. Like that is a wild thing that I even learned. I didn't know that more women died in childbirth than in any other natural way. And so I just think they just kind of perfected it, and we got to a point where like, okay, cool, 18 is that threshold. So if we're looking at it like 18 is that biological threshold, then that's kind of just where we're at, and it just got perfected. Now, you could make the argument of just like, you know, they're fresh out of high school, so they're not really in the same mindset. So why would it benefit for them to date an older person? Well, I would look at it like if a man is established, you know, I think all he's really looking for is just a partner and a mate. He's not really looking for, you know, all the other shit that comes with it. He wants to teach her things and show her stuff and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where I think he gets a benefit out of it. Just like the other video we saw where dude, you know, was constantly helping her with things. And I think he wants to get that kind of fulfillment because everybody that's around him is so like capable. And so he looks at it like, oh, with her not being capable, you know, of not knowing a lot of things, I can teach her things, I can show her stuff. It's kind of like having an apprentice, you know what I mean? You enjoy showing them things, you enjoy teaching and watching them flourish and watching them kind of grow. So I get it from that perspective too. Again, there's just a lot of reasons why I'm just like, I don't see anything wrong with an 18-year-old woman wanting to date a 35-plus-year-old man. I just don't. I really don't. So I don't know. You guys let us know what you think about it in the comments, though. All right? Yeah. I love having these kind of conversations because they do get that nice little ping pong back and forth. You know what I mean? But I don't know if did you want to add anything before we move on to the next one?
I guess my last point would be because more so at the beginning, I feel like when you said that historically what women had been looking for in a man in like a relationship is them being younger, him being older was a good dynamic because it worked, right?
No, I said that she's looking for an older man because he can provide protection and provision. She's looking for a younger he's looking for a younger woman because of youth, beauty, and fertility. Right.
And so you were saying because in historically that's what's worked before, right?
Well, that's just what they've looked for. That's what men and women have looked for in each other since the beginning of time. That's why men seek out women, and that's why women seek out men. It's why we seek each other, is because women lack security and provision because they're the weaker race or gender. I'm sorry. They're the weaker gender. They can't protect themselves. And so with us, we have the monopoly of force. We're a lot stronger. So we have to come in and then protect them. For us, we're looking for youth and fertility because we bring the next generation. I always say men create children, women incubate them. I hate this whole, but we have babies. No, you don't. We do. When I nut, I'm shooting babies. When you nut, you're shooting piss. Shut up. All right? You incubate my children. Fuck are we talking about? So that's the thing. We want to further society. So we want healthy, strong children. And so we look for youth, beauty, and fertility. And that we're just looking for what we can't do biologically. So that's why I say those are the things that we're looking for, and that's just what we tend to find. Now, back in the day, it used to be, oh yeah, I could date a 14-year-old girl, and you know she's young and beautiful, and that wasn't working because they were dying. They were dying having kids, and they're like, oh shit, I have my kid, but now I don't have a mom to take care of it. Like, this sucks. And so I think that's why they kind of pushed it up, because they started seeing it. It was just more of like, it wasn't working where it was, so then they had to push it up. And that's, kind of my point.
Yeah. And I mean, it makes sense because, so the idea is like, right, in some states, it still is legal at 16 to date. You know? And it's like, I don't even think we've perfected it now because
100%.
In the same sentence of like 18 is biologically when a female, I guess, is fully matured, right? Biologically. Like what's the arraignment for 16, where it's like that's 2 years, and from there it starts to get that gray of like, okay, if 2 years doesn't really mean anything, then what's in the states where it's legal 2 years from 16 to 14 for those people that are like, yeah, well, she's 16, she's legal. And then, it just like starts to really make a gray where I'm like, if you think about holistically from a holistic standpoint of like, maturity, like not just biological, but mental maturity, like responsibilities, upcoming culture, all that kind of stuff, it really just doesn't make any sense. And to say that like learning from history has helped what we know today is true, but it also doesn't mean today is accurate, because like we talked about, like the advancements have come from learning from the past.
Yeah.
And so obviously there's things that we've learned and said like, this is going to be a great breakthrough. This is true. And then it just keeps jumping and jumping and jumping, where like it's hard to say now. And this is why I think we have these debates of not me and you, but like society as a whole, like these debates, because there's obviously something triggering where it's like you can't deny truths. You know what I mean? Where like if you look outside, the sky is fucking blue, right? If you look at the fact of like 18 is an adult, there's gray area because of outlying factors. You know what I mean? As well as, a 35-year-old man dating an 18-year-old is in some cases weird because of the outlying factors. You know what I mean? Where of like I said, at 18. Biologically, could she have a baby and probably most likely survive, or have the best case scenario of surviving? And that being the age is like where the threshold kind of hits that marker of like, yeah, this is the absolute youngest where they could have the highest chance of surviving. And then from then on out, they'll always survive or whatever, as long as they're healthy. Right. Yeah, I could see that. But does that mean that like, it's like getting a new car. By no means do you get a new car and just fucking redline the engine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or, by no means do you fucking cook food and then, as it's steaming hot, just jam it all down your throat. You know what I mean? Or, whatever the case may be. Like that just because at this exact point, is it like okay or like ready, quote unquote, does that mean like that is the point that where it's like, oh, it's fine, whatever happens, you know what I mean? In my opinion. And that's just like the last part. And there's not really any evidence that as of right now we're in the best possible position to say like, yeah, this is true, because time shows that we've had facts from before and it's like, all right, well, we thought it was facts, but now it's not. You know what I mean? We're kind of seeing more research that it's not necessarily facts or like okay or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, because like that's why I made the point of like, they saw 14 was not good. They tried 15. They tried 15. They tried 16. They tried 16. They tried 17. That's why I'm saying it's in no way, shape, or form is it perfect. But my thing is even let's say they even took the minimum age, like you're a minor all the way up into 20 years old, and then 21 you're an adult. Now they're going to be like, oh, 21-year-old dating a 45-year-old man, oh, that's wrong, that's a child, that is a child, what are you doing? And that's what I mean. It's like, dude, personally I feel you should get out of that societal norm of just like, look, bro, if the law states that this is an adult, you have the choices, autonomy, and the freedom to make your own decisions. You are an adult at that point. Your parents are no longer responsible for you. You are an adult. If you decide that you want to date this 35-year-old man at 18 years old, that is your choice. If something bad comes from it, that is your consequence. That is a autonomous choice that you made as an adult. And that's just kind of where I look at it. Like, because no matter what age you do it, even if it's 21, they're going to be like, oh, that's a 21-year-old kid. Oh, hell no. Oh, no. So that's why I look at it like you can push back that age as many times as you want. But I just look at it like, bro, it's all about the... I guess perspective and just how you see it. You know what I mean? So exactly. It's just all how you see it. All right. I want to get your thoughts on this one because, and I think we've talked about this one before. But I want to get your thoughts on this one.
Have we talked about this one? I don't recognize it.
First, your mom, your daughter, or your wife? Mom, daughter, wife. Daughter, wife? Wife replaceable. Okay. Oh, wow, replaceable. Daughter, if I'm on good terms with my wife, then wife. Daughter? Daughter's at 1, okay. Uh-oh.
Daughter, mom, wife.
Daughter, mom, wife?
You get what I'm saying? You can always find another wife.
I was raised by a single mother, so my mom's got to come first. Then my daughter. Then your daughter. Wife. And your wife? Then my wife.
Oof. This might be
All right. So she's triggered.
Yeah.
And she's triggered because no one chose wife first. My thing is, why the fuck would you ever choose a grown-ass adult over your child? That's my thing. Like, my mom, I get it. You know, it is, like, personally for me, it would be child, wife, then mother. Because I'm like, hey, my mom dies, that's going to suck. It's going to hurt really bad. But it's like, you know, she lived her life. You know what I mean? My wife, I need a mother for my child. But your thoughts. I want your thoughts. Because you're a dad.
Yeah.
So you could literally be in this position.
This, I think, is very particular. Because they just said daughter, mom, or wife, right?
Yes.
Now,
it's only women. It's not son or anything like that.
Yeah. In the idea of, I think what they were getting at is child, daughter, wife, and then mom, right? Because an adult daughter is not the same thing as a child daughter.
Oops. All right, go ahead.
Because my child being defenseless means I have to choose her first.
Exactly.
Right? If she's an adult and not useless, she's someone's wife, and then she is put last. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's very particular. What I'm getting at, though, is wife will always come last. Because what the fuck does she need? What the fuck does she have where I need to prioritize her over my child or my mom?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Anyone that puts their mom last is probably a piece of shit. I'll be real.
I put my mom last.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I look at it like my child having a mother is more important than my child having a grandmother. That's my thought process on that. I look at it like, what is best for my child? So it would be for me to put my life on the line for my child first, and then what is the more logical choice for my child at that point? And I would think it's more important for my child to have a mother than it is to have a grandmother. It sucks. I would hate that. I would die inside that my mom, passed away or she's last in that scenario. But I have to look outside of myself and think what is better for my child. And that's just the reason why I chose it. So,
are you saying biological mother?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, this is your biological mom. This is your mom.
No, I'm saying it's more important for your child to have a biological mother?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Because I think it would be, especially for a daughter. And I think when you were saying that this is a good scenario to do because it's specifically daughter, that is the reason. Now, if it was son, I would flip it. I would have my wife last and my mom next. The reason being is because my son, I can show him how to be a man. But my daughter, I cannot show her how to be a woman. And I think the biological mother is going to have an easier time doing that versus me trying to bring a woman into the relationship and my daughter being able to learn from her. I think she can learn from her, but it's going to be an uphill battle in that scenario. So that's why I look at it like it would be best for her to have her biological mom versus having some woman. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying it's just going to be a little bit harder. But again, if it was son, then I would flip it. I'd be like, yeah, no, my wife can go last. My mom is next.
So, because that's interesting because how would your wife being biologically connected to your child make her a better or make it less of an uphill battle for your child to learn from her than a woman that steps up and tries to be the best mother that she could be for your child that lost their mom? Because
I don't think daughters specifically, I don't think that I think they need more of a parental connection than sons do. Like sons, I think you can kind of, in a way, like brute force their upbringing a little bit more than you can a daughter. A daughter, I think if you try to brute force it, there's more of her, kind of being rebellious and being like very distant from the family, as to where if she has that like biological connection, I think we'll be able to get to her a little easier. Again, I'm also coming from the same fact of like, if I try to tell her about, her period and these kind of things, she's not really going to take to it. Like, sure, she'll listen to me in time, but I don't think she'll listen to me in the time frame that I need her to. Now, with a biological mom, she would look at it like, okay, you know what you're talking about. Now, with another woman, say she's coming into that transitioning time in her life, she is just going to kind of look at it like, bitch, you're not my mom. Like, what the fuck are you to tell me? And then it's going to be that like uphill battle before she realizes like, okay, shit, what this random lady was actually telling me was like the truth. I'm not saying she can't get there. I'm just saying it's going to be a longer road to kind of get to that connection that we're looking for with another woman aside from the biological mom. I think the biological mom, it's like she already has that pre-established connection, so we can skip that step and go right into kind of that parental guidance, versus another woman, we got to start with the parental connection first, and then we can get into the parental guidance.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, for me, it's a little bit different because I don't believe blood means shit to a family dynamic, right?
Okay.
For me, you can do your blood way worse than, a stranger can, and why would you consider that family over someone that's a stranger that's not blood related to you, right?
Okay.
And so, for me, I'll always say wife comes last, because at the end of the day, like I said, like they'll have that parental connection, but there's nothing stopping another woman from coming in and having that same dynamic, and the kid basically being none the wiser depending on when she comes in, Because obviously if like she's 2, my daughter's 2, and fucking my wife passes away, and then another woman becomes my wife again, she's gonna be like, that's mommy. Like, she's not gonna be like, wait a second, we're not blood related. I don't know what blood related means because I'm only 3, but you know what? We're not blood related. I don't fuck with you. You know what I mean? For me, it just really, and then even still for like, when they're a little bit more cognizant, like 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever, right? Of course, they're going to feel things are unfair.
Yeah.
They're going to hate, like, the fact that, like, I was so used to this, and now there's something different. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's still the same dynamic would happen regardless, right? Say, your wife passed away, and then my mom steps in and like, all right, well, while you're doing work, whatever, she steps in and takes care of the kids instead of me bringing in a new wife. She's going to be like, well, my grandma was like a mom to me. And I've heard that from women where like my grandparents were like parents to me. You know what I mean?
But that's that blood connection where like it's more of that's my grandmother. I know I've known her always to be my grandma. I think in that situation it's a little different, just because again, like I said, that pre-established connection is already there. And we skipped over that. So that way grandma could become mom. It's like, cool, we've stepped over that. Now we can get into the parental guidance. But it's different when you bring someone in. That parental connection has to come first before we get into parental guidance, because the kid's just not going to listen. I do agree if the kid is 2 years old, it doesn't fucking know shit.
Yeah.
It's pooping in its diaper like, this is mom right here. Yeah. I get that. But I guess I would come from the situation of they're probably like, they understand who their mom is. They understand, they have that already, like, okay, I understand. They're probably in the ranges of like 5 years old to 8, and they understand their mom. But I do agree if the kid is fucking 2-3 years old, they're just like, that mom right there. Yeah,
and so I think the point still stands, because there's foster kids that are old enough that lose both their parents at a young age of like, all right, dude, like I'm 6 or 7 and now my parents are fucking dead in a car crash, and then they get new parents and then they're like, dude, like this is, you know, identical. Not identical because they wouldn't really know, but like they still are like, yeah, this is like my mom and dad. Like I remember my other parents because, you know, I have memories, but they passed away. But by no means do I think that just because they're not blood related, could they still, like I said, not go in with the idea of like, all right, well, these people are like gonna be my new mom and dad, you know, which you know, that goes almost into another rabbit hole of like, you know, the women that are like, this is your new dad, and like, I got another one for this is the new one for this next week again, dude.
This
like
is the third dad.
Like how many dads am I gonna have, you know? And then that dynamic, that fucking, you know, the understanding of having a mom to people is like I think it really just depends on like a kid's outlook, right? Because
true.
You know, kids can understand to a certain point what makes family, and because you explain like, hey, we're all related, we're family, yada yada yada, and you instill that in them, it makes the dynamic a little weird because they feel as if there's like a disconnect when people are not blood related, you know what I mean? And so, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. That's just the understanding, you know what I mean? And
you don't think that a parental connection would have to come before parental guidance? Like, even if, like, we'll take your scenario of the orphan kid, you know, they're both their parents die and then a new family takes them in and they're happy about that. They're like, oh my God, yes, I got a new mom and dad. This is great. Don't you think in order before you start guiding that child, you kind of connect with them first on that parental, like, hey, this is your mom, I am your dad. You know, this is how things go. This is how we do things in our home. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you create that parental connection first, then you start the guidance of like, okay, no, little Johnny, we can't do that. Oh no, hey, you know. I just think if you try to go into the parental guidance before that connection, that's where the animosity comes from, where they're just like, you're not my dad. Oh, you know what I mean? And because you didn't pre-establish that connection first of like, hey, you know, this is that kind of like baseline or foundation of our relationship, and then we kind of build on top of that. That's just where I'm getting from, because my dad used to do fostering for kids, I remember. You know, and I used to help him out with it. I wasn't doing it. I got certified to help him out with it. And every kid that we got, it was like that. You know, the moment they would come in, if you didn't really establish kind of that connection with them first, they would just hate you right off the rip. Like, you're not my dad. You can't tell me what to do. And I'm just like, bro, what the fuck? But then when we would kind of take it a little slower, develop a bit of a connection with them, talk to them, you know, you just kind of like have them understand the dynamic that they're in, and then add that guidance on afterwards. Then they're kind of like, okay, all right, I understand like where my slot is in this family or this dynamic.
And like I said, I think that just goes back to the idea behind what a dad is or what a mom is, because you know, as from a young age, you teach kids like the main difference between me being your mom and dad, like us being your mom and dad, is the fact that we're blood, you follow our rules, yada yada yada. And then from there they take that and run with it, where it's like, I don't have to, in the hierarchy of people, I listen to parents first, then authority figure, whatever, right? Because it's the same thing with like, you tell someone like, this is going to be your teacher, you treat them as if they were your mom and dad. You then are thinking like, okay, teacher and mom and dad are on the same level. So whenever I hear teacher, it's the same thing where it's like, hey, this, like, parents are X, Y, and Z. If you define parents as X, Y, and Z, and then that kid takes on that definition, because, you know, they have to take on that definition. Right? Of, you know, this is what a mommy and daddy does, right? This is what a mommy and daddy is, right? And then from there, as long as it's not tied to blood, a kid will understand, like, okay, I'm in front of this person. They're saying that they're going to be my new mom and dad. I have to treat them that way because this is what mom and dads are. It has nothing to do with blood. It has to do with like actions.
You know what I mean?
And then from there, it's from there, they will not have that same resistance because they don't have that blood aspect holding them back. And I think that's where a lot of those issues came up, where it's like, well, you're not my dad because dads are blood related, so I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then from there, you have to explain the new dynamic of like, hey, your parents passed away, like your biological parents passed away. There's another aspect to being a mom and dad that doesn't have to do with blood. And then that's when kids start to take on like, okay, yeah, now I kind of get it. We're not blood related, but I still consider them this because mom and dads are defined by X, Y, and Z aside from blood.
And to bring, okay, so that right there perfectly explains, to bring it back around to the main topic, that right there is the reason why I would choose my wife over my mother. Because that right there, I wouldn't want to have to go, if I don't have to, I don't want to have to go through that explanation right there. Because that was perfectly explained, broken down to a T. That I love that explanation, and that right there is the reason why I would choose my wife over my mom. Just because, again, if my wife died, then I would have to go through all of that when I'm like, damn, I could have just saved my wife and this would have saved me all this time. That's just my thought process. That was the reason why I chose it. Because I'm like, we would have to go through that explanation, that understanding first. Then we can get to the parental, guidance and all that stuff. I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying it can't happen, but I just personally wouldn't want to have to go through that. I'd be like, it's more important for my kid to just have a mom than to have a grandma. So
I see that.
Yeah.
For me, on my side, I would just say it's most important for my kid to have me, obviously.
Oh, 100%. They're going to have you regardless.
And it's, secondly, I would say more important to me to have my mom in my life versus having a wife. Because, you can, like, a wife that doesn't act like a wife, you can swap in and out, whatever, yada, yada, do what you need to do. But, a mom that doesn't do what she needs to do cannot be swapped out. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And so, my mom being the person that she is, there's no replacing that. You only get one. So, of course, I'm going to try to preserve that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, it is a similar argument to the fact that your wife could be that for your kid, but at the same time it's not necessarily the same, because women, people can be who they are. You know what I mean? You can, and especially as an adult, you can't really get a new mom. You can, but you can't, like, it's a lot harder, right? Whereas as a kid, I would say it's arguably easier to get a new mom, quote unquote, because you're still looking for that connection, and then there's still women that are looking to make that connection. Where it's obviously for me, at my age, I'm not getting a new mom. You know what I mean? Like that's you know what I mean? If my mom passes away, I'm not gonna be like, oh, this woman who is around the same age is gonna be my new mom. You know what I mean? Like, you can get new guidance, but as a kid, it's a little bit different, because they can be like, I want to look after this kid and help raise him through, or help raise her or him through their children years and be a lifelong guidance for them. Where, like, as an adult, like I said, you can find that, but it's a little bit different because you're already an adult. You
wouldn't think that, like, your friends' moms, you would consider them as moms, and you could be like, I wouldn't say that's replacing, but it fills in that vacancy. Because that's how I would do it. Because I look at your mom as my mom. I look at, my best friend Alex's mom as my mom. And I look at it like, if my mom were to go, I would still have that maternal guidance from them. Because I know that through the years, they still have treated me like their son. So, I could come to them with a problem and they would be able to give me the same advice as if they were my mom. Do you think that plays a part in it? Or is that just personally for you that wouldn't fill that role?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I'm leaning towards no because it's already a similar fashion with like my dad, where like he passed away when I was 17, and no one really could fill that role because of how unique he was to me. You know what I mean? Okay. So like there were people that were fatherly, of course. You know what I mean? Like and yeah, like I would say they measure up pretty well to what a father should be with guidance and stuff like that. But I don't think that I could really say the same, where before I thought that, yeah, because it's like the same argument I was using where it's like fathers do fatherly things and become your father, but it's like I guess the older you are, the harder it is to say like, yeah, this could be a replacement versus, or like even like not a stepping stone, but like a similar thing, because you're already established versus as a kid it's a lot different because you're not established, and it really just depends on how people are as a person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's a little weird because like I said, short answer is like, yeah, people can be motherly, but whether or not you take that on is, I think, dependent on how old you really are, because yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys let us know what you think about it in the comments. Who would you choose? Daughter, mother, what is it? Daughter, mother, wife. All right. You guys let us know. What would you do? What would you do? All right. All right. On to this next one. We got one. This is flipping the script. You know what I mean? We are not misogynists out here. This dude is just an absolute fucking piece of shit. And from the caption, you kind of see. But I want your thoughts, and we'll get right on into it.
All right.
It too.
Pork chops. Oh, you just.
But it's not like they're not. I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning, feeding the dogs, like feeding the lizard, doing all the things, and then I'm leaving for work, and then I'm coming home at like 8 o'clock at night. And whenever I leave for work, I'll like check his location throughout the day, and he's like still at home, and I'm like, what the f- are you doing? Like, I just feel like he should be working more. Whether that is 5 hours at McDonald's or whatever, because 5 hours at McDonald's at $10 is $50, and that's a minimum payment.
I'll be honest, this is gonna make me sound like the most traditional man in the history of the world, but I'm not like super trad or anything like that. But if I can't put a roof over her head, can't put food on the table, have hidden debts, and she's out there working more than me, I'd be embarrassed as a man.
It is embarrassing.
Yet he does nothing. He won't go and work. He just told me he won't do it.
Yeah.
So embarrassing. F*** you. 1% maybe. She's 40% of the way from leaving. I bet it's gone up to 45 since this conversation started. So what do you do the other 133 hours of the week?
Watch movies.
That's disgusting. And I love a good movie. That's disgusting. What are your thoughts? What's going through your head
I
right
don't
now,
have
please?
anything to say because
No, just tell me what you feel and what you think. Because hold my...
I just can't. I can't think about it because it will like cause me to spiral because I'll work like 2 jobs in one day. So I'll like nanny from...
2 jobs in one day? How many jobs do you have?
So I like nanny and then I work at a Montessori school. And then I do like birthday parties on the weekend.
She has 3 fucking jobs!
And I work part-time at Target too.
She has 4 jobs! Oh, you just...
But it's not like they're not...
Can someone castrate this man? You don't deserve it. You don't deserve her.
Alright.
Hey, look, I'll be honest. Dude's got it made. I don't know what the fuck he's laying down.
Man, bro!
She's working 4 jobs to keep the relationship afloat, and he's doing jack shit.
This man must have the biggest hog ever, bruh.
He's doing something the rest of us can't do.
Man, you're dead serious, but it's crazy to me because it's like there ain't no way in hell a woman is working 4 jobs to keep a motherfucking relationship. Unless they got something going on.
God, yeah. What? How? Like, how are they together is what I'm trying to understand.
I don't
What
know.
does she see in him? Or potentially, she understands that the karma that she's generating by doing this will backspring nothing but good fortune on her life.
I hope it does.
Because she's going to go through all these trials and tribulations on this end, and then when a real dude comes along and is like, oh, quit all your jobs. You know what? I'll throw money at you until you fucking quit all those jobs. And then she's going to be able to drown in it and fucking be in her feminine and yada, yada, yada. So maybe that's where she's going with this. Or he has some magic that we don't know about. That because he was like, it is embarrassing. I mean, like, yucking it up.
Like, bruh, come on, man. Like, what are you doing? Like, you, just by looking at dude, he just looks like a fucking loser. Yeah. And it's like, bro, what the fuck, man? And it's crazy to me. See, this is the what I call the loser paradox, okay? Because women don't enjoy dating successful men because they never have time for them. But they will sit there and they will make a fucking loser relationship work. Why? Because he's got all the time in the world for her. And she looks at it like, the fact that he has all the time in the world for me, you know, that for me is enough. That's a justification to keep this relationship going. But they're not happy because he's not working. He ain't doing shit. And so it's like, it's the loser paradox where it's like, you're dating a loser. And so you're losing. And so it's like, but you won't go date a successful guy because a successful guy, you're like, oh, well, I've dated a successful guy before and he doesn't have any time for me. So because he doesn't have any time for me, that's why I'm dating the loser. But at least the loser has time for me. With the successful guy, I wasn't getting anything.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's kind of the mindset of women like her, where she looks at it like, I'd rather have a guy who has time for me than a guy who has all this money and no time for me.
Yeah, I don't know. The stars aren't telling me what is making sense here, because that's the only place I could really think to pull what is going through this lady's head. Because, and then also, I mean, she said it on the cast, is like, she is running from thinking about it too hard, because if she thinks about it, she'll come to her senses. Yeah. So she doesn't want to be logical. She wants to be in whatever feeling or emotion, because it's like we talked about before on the podcast, right? We talked about this on the show before. You know, people don't change until it really feels like it serves them best. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's the same dynamic of like, if I shoot myself in the kneecaps, I don't have to go out there and face the real world. You know, the pain of the kneecaps being blown out is way more worth it than having to go face out the real world. And so this is where she's at. She's like, the pain of being here with this fucking loser is a lot more manageable than the pain of me facing the reality of like, what the fuck am I doing? Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So she's running from that. So she's sticking with shooting herself in the knees versus going out there and walking the mile that it takes to do whatever her goals are. So this is where I'm like, she's doing it to herself.
Oh, 1,000.
That man has got a pretty cushy life, I'll be real.
Man, I don't.
But at the same time, I can't envision being that way, because I see myself as doing a lot more, having a lot more to do. So I have more to do than what that guy has to do, right? He's like, dude, I just fucking... His goal in life is to watch as many movies as he can. Yeah. And that's why he is where he's at. Whereas obviously any man with ambition, or any normal man, will have ambition and have goals that they gotta hit. So the byproduct of hitting those goals will be a better life for him and his woman and his children. You know what I mean? This man he has no goals, ambitions, or whatever. So his byproduct of him being a piece of shit just means he gets to sit at home and let a girl work 4 jobs for him. So he's not doing anything wrong in his mind, because he's accomplishing goals that he has for himself.
Yeah, like watching the movie.
Yeah. And so
he's like, I'm fulfilled. Yeah. I'm accomplishing shit. Yeah. And goals on top of goals.
That's why for him, he's not really embarrassed, because he's hitting his goals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
because he only said he was embarrassed because he's on a show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're on the internet. It's
and
like,
so he didn't even necessarily say he was embarrassed. The host said it's embarrassing. He said yes, it is. I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
He said, yes, it is.
Yeah,
for someone who gives a fuck.
Yeah.
He does not give a fuck. And that's why for him, he's like, I don't give a shit. It could be embarrassing for someone who cares.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck, and look where it got me. I watch movies for 133 hours.
Damn.
Stupid.
Damn.
You know, so kudos to that guy for getting what he wants. You know what I mean?
I guess so, man.
You know?
I guess so. And that's real. That's not a skit.
Skit. Or
No, that's a real couple.
Yeah.
That's a real fucking couple. Those are real people. That's a real relationship. So it's like, bruh.
But yeah, I guarantee you the moment, and this is with I'll say a 95% success rate. The moment a real dude sees an interest in her and is like, you know what, dude? And starts chucking a little bit of money. And there was like a thing I heard on the internet where it's like, if you give her great dick, great conversation, and there was one more. I think it was just fucking money or something like that.
Probably
money,
yeah.
right? If you give her 2 of the 3, she'll be yours forever. She don't need all 3. It'll be a dynamic of she gets 2 of those, she'll be yours forever, right? So this dude is probably giving her 1 of the 3, right? Either great conversation, great dick, definitely not giving her money. So it's one of the 2.
Well, see, I think he's giving her 2 out of the 3, and that's why she's staying. I think he's giving her everything but the money. I think he's giving her great conversation and great dick. He just ain't got money, and I think that's why she's staying. I think that's why what you're saying is true. Because they are a perfect example of exactly what you're just talking about. He gives her a great conversation when she comes home. Why? Because he's like, babe, I saw this movie and and the movie is about this, and that. She's like, oh my God, that's so interesting, babe. Oh my da-da-da-da. Now having full on conversations about that. He's got to be slanging some crazy meat because she's got to get some kind of satisfaction somewhere out of this guy, you know, or else she'd be cheating on him left and right. Let's be real. And I just think he doesn't have the aspect of money. Yeah. That's it. And so that's exactly what you're saying is 100% correct because of that.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. All it'll take is for another dude to just throw that money aspect in, and she's gone immediately, same day.
Oh, 100%.
It'll be a same day installation.
Yeah. But see, I also think that she knows what comes with that money. She looks at it like, yeah, he's a guy that has money and everything, but he's got no time for me. Like, he's not telling me, great stories and this and that. It's always that 2 out of 3 thing. Because, again, let's say she does meet a guy with money. He's not going to have great conversation because he's busy all the time. He's working all the time. He's doing his thing. He giving her great dick, giving her money, but the conversation's missing. And I think for her, I always say for women, their wants / needs are interchangeable. They're always interchanging it. Some women look at it like, okay, I need a guy who looks good, is tall, and has money. But some girls are like, nah, I need a dude who's got money. Then he's tall, and then he looks good. Like, nah, I need a dude who looks good, then he's tall, then he's got money. So it's always going to be interchangeable. And then at the older they get, they're like, yeah, in my 20s, yeah, I wanted a guy who's tall and had money and looked good. Now, I'm in my 30s. I need a dude who just got great conversation, decent money. He's sort of tall. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of will just, interchange them out, especially as they get older. So I think for her, I think she's in a point in her life where she's just like, great conversation comes first, good dick then, money's last. Because earlier on, when I was younger, I did money, great conversation, dick, or money, dick, then great conversation. Yeah. I think that's just where she's at in life. But I guarantee you, like you said, she's going to get to a point in her life where she's just like, damn, man, great dick and great conversation just ain't doing it for me. Yeah. I need to swap this shit out. And I think that's what she's going to do. She's going to swap that shit out.
100%, because the idea of what money will throw in there is experiences, and a woman will fucking crumble immediately to get new experiences.
Oh, 1,000.
So that's why I was like, yeah, in reality, like, if that dude even has like a remote of the, like, a dude with money has a remote of the other two, she's gone.
Yeah. Oh, 1,000.
She's gone.
1,000.
Yeah.
All right. So before we get into this last video, I'm going to do announcements. So patreon.com/Am I the Asshole podcast. Get an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenario to be featured on the Tuesday and Sunday show. Audio listeners, thank you guys so much for all the support. You guys have been absolutely killing it, and we appreciate that so very much. Coming out every week, downloading the episodes, as well as rating us 5 stars on your preferred platform. If you want to help us out even more, go ahead and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, as well as subscribing on YouTube. Our boy Mike's links are also down in the description. Follow him on TikTok and Instagram at MikeLife333. That's on the screen down there. And
yeah, if you guys, thank you guys for all the support. You guys definitely are showing what's really been working for the channel and what hasn't been working so much. So like, thank you guys for all the support. If you just need more like life advice, whatever the case may be, go ahead, go on down to my my socials, as well as my link tree, all that kind of stuff that's in there. You'll find pretty much, you know, stuff about job inquiries, your success, my success, anything else that has to do with the channel as well. So just go ahead, check us both out. Thank you guys for your support, and yeah, we'll just get back.
All right, let's get back into it. Okay. So, I definitely want to get your thoughts and takes on this video. Watch this video, and it made me feel some type of way. So, I want to see your thoughts. I want to get your raw input on it.
How else to say this, but my husband is manipulating and emotionally abusing me.
Yep.
Oh man. Tell me about it. Whatever you're comfortable talking about. Yeah, I don't want you to. Just tell me as much as you feel comfortable telling me.
Okay, so let me just start from the beginning. When my husband and I first started dating, we had this deep conversation about cheating. He told me, clear as day, if this ever happens, I need to know straight away. If you tell me and it only happens once, I think I could forgive you. And honestly, that stuck with me. It made me feel like, okay, if I ever screwed up, at least being honest would matter to him more. Fast forward 5 years and we're married now. A couple weeks ago there was this company party, and I don't even know how to say this, but I made a huge mistake. I slept with a coworker. I know, it's awful. It was a moment of weakness, and I've hated myself every second since it happened. That conversation we had all those years ago, it kept playing in my head. I thought, if I just told him, at least I'd have a chance to fix things, you know? So, a couple of nights ago, I brought it up. I asked him if he remembered those conversations we had about cheating. At first, he was like, which one? Because we had a lot of talks like that early on. So I reminded him about how he said he would forgive me if it only happened once, if I was honest. And then I told him everything. His reaction was immediate. He looked mortified. He didn't even say anything. Just packed his stuff and left. I begged him to stay. I was crying, apologizing, trying to explain, but he wouldn't listen.
Right.
He said he needed to cool down and walked out. The next day, we finally talked, and I tried to remind him of that conversation, thinking maybe it would help him maybe understand why I confessed. And do you know what he did? He laughed. He was just there on the other end of the phone laughing. Then he told me that he never meant any of it. That he only said he'd forgive me back then to make sure I'd confess if I ever cheated. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I know what I did was wrong. I'm not denying that for a second, but to hear him say he lied to me, that all this time he never actually meant to forgive me, it felt like, I don't know, like I'd been set up. Now he's planning to divorce me, and he said there's nothing I can say or do to make him change his mind. And I get it. I broke his trust. But at the same time, it feels like he broke mine too. I believed we had this understanding, you know? And maybe if I knew he was lying, I wouldn't have cheated in the first place.
The thing about this is him lying to you doesn't matter because you already broke the trust. Your trust being broken towards him doesn't matter because you already broke the trust. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, bro, it's already over. You can't sit there and be like, oh, but after the fact, you broke my trust. But after the fact, you didn't cheat because he broke the trust. You didn't cheat because no, you cheated, then found out. So that doesn't make sense to me. The fuck? But I want to know I want to get your.
I mean, it's very, very obvious in my eyes that she heard that conversation was like, I can fuck another dude.
Oh,
yeah.
And he'll just forgive me.
Yeah.
Oh.
She heard like, I think I could forgive you, right? He was thinking about it. He was like, fuck, dude, like, how can I word this to really get it to her, right? And she heard, I think I could forgive you, right? Like, there's still a chance I couldn't, but I think I could, right? And then she was like, this means and she said it, this means if I make a mistake, I would be fine. And she said it, I wouldn't have cheated if I knew he lied. What do you mean by that? Why do you think that him forgiving you means that it would be okay for you to cheat in the first place?
Facts.
And that's why from that very upfront conversation, I already knew that she was like, he said that I now can fuck someone else and it'll be fine.
Yeah, because you clocked it pretty early.
Yeah.
It took me a while to clock it because I was kind of taking her story at face value. I was like, okay, because for me, I was thinking that he was the one that cheated on her. So I was like, okay, let me see how this unfolds. But then it's a thing where she ended up cheating on him and I'm like, wait a minute. And then her justification for cheating was what upset me the most. It was like the fact that you thought, oh, because I'm free of accountability of this cheating, I could just go do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck, bro?
Because 100% when that party was happening, work party, whatever the fuck she said, she was like getting a little loose. She was, probably dancing, throwing her back, and then she saw Homeboy and was like, well,
I'm going to twerk on his mushroom tip.
5 years of being married to this man, he did say 5 years ago that if I did cheat, he would forgive me.
Like, I'm justified. We're good.
Yeah, I'm fucking this man.
Get over here, Scott.
Yeah. And then that's the idea of like when a woman is introduced to your boundary and it's not enforced, she then will use that idea of, well, you didn't enforce it this time. Now I can, what the fuck is it? Make it a mountain out of a molehill. You know what I mean? Or take an inch and stretch it a mile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
I think that's probably the better.
Yeah, that's the better one. Yeah.
Yeah.
She then was like, you said you could forgive me once. That was fine. I just wanted like a little hall pass. But then what's to stop you from forgiving me again?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I made a mistake once. Now this is just a second mistake or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So then they're just going to take the boundary and then from there stretch it. So it's like,
because where he went wrong is he wasn't firm on his boundary. I think you cannot give women wiggle room on anything. Because the moment you give them wiggle room, what are they going to do? They're going to wiggle.
Yeah.
They're going to wiggle like a motherfucker. Yeah. And they're going to justify it to no means. She said that her husband is manipulating her, emotionally abusing her.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy to me. Like, no fucking way Is he abusing you at all or manipulating you? No. He sat there, he set a boundary. As loose as that boundary was, he still set a boundary. And you decided, all right, cool, I'm walking right over that bitch. Don't give a fuck about you. It's like, bro, and see, this is a good thing, because we've talked about, like, you know, when your girl gets approached by a dude or whatever, you let her choose, you know?
Yeah.
This is exactly what he did. He said, here's my boundary. Now I'm letting you choose. And I think that's what he did. He let her choose, and guess what she did? She fucking chose, because he was like, I'm giving you free will because I don't want to be controlling. I don't want to be manipulative. So I'm like, you know what? Hey, I might be able to forgive you, but I don't know. And so then she's like, oh, okay, cool. I got free will. Let me just do whatever the fuck I want to do. Because a good woman would have just been like, even though he is, you know, there's a possibility that he would, what's it called? There's a possibility that he would forgive me. Like, I still don't want to go over that boundary, you know? But to the same degree, though, it's like you always say, if a dude is like that guy, she ain't gonna do it.
Yeah.
He may not be that guy.
Yeah.
You know, so that might be another reason why she did it. That was another justification for her. Like, he ain't really that guy like that. You know, I ain't really fucking with him like that. Like,
it should be, but in my opinion, it should be more so just known through your actions.
1,000
of like
1,000.
This is not acceptable. You know what I mean, like he.
Yeah.
I think displayed in and of himself, like, I'm not really that dude, by saying, like, yeah, I think I could forgive you, because she's like, all right, you're already saying that it's possible for me to cheat on you because you're just not that guy. You know what I mean? You're displaying it by telling me you might be able to forgive me. That is already dropping your status down a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And I already want to cheat on you. And so you saying that that's kind of acceptable makes it drop your status down a little bit more. You know what I mean? Whereas,
she just loses a lot of respect for him.
Yeah. Because, like, you think about it this way, right? You show up to work, and by no means is she going to, like, go to her boss and be like, hey, you know what? I think I could shit on my boss' desk if I felt like it. Because she already knows in her mind that's just not something that you do to your boss. There's no reason for me to even try to test that boundary. There's no reason for the boss to tell me don't do that, because that's just already known.
100%.
I've talked to him before. There's no way he would think that's funny or, like, acceptable, and I would be fired immediately. Whereas for this dynamic, he opened the door, like, she walked into the office, like, all right, if you know, I don't like it when people shit on my desk.
Yeah, if you shit on my desk, I might not fire you.
I might not fire you. And then she's like, I never thought about it that way, dude.
Let me shit on your desk.
Let me shit on his desk and see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, and then from there, she was like, oh, he told me if I shit on his desk, he might not fire me, and now I'm fired, dude.
Yeah.
No, dude. From the rip, you should have just been that dude. Made it very clear what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And then from there, she knows what comes next.
Yeah.
She in this scenario, she probably would have been like, I cheated. I might as well not even come the fuck home.
100%.
Because I cheated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's very self-explanatory. Like I say, it starts with the man, ends with the man. You know what I mean? And there's no reason to talk about boundaries, because you either know from that person of how they are, what kind of boundaries are in place, or you don't, and you're just really not that dude. And then from there, you know, whatever happens is your fault.
Pretty much, dude.
Yeah.
All right, man. You guys let us know what you think about all those videos down in the comment, everything we talked about. I know we talked about a lot, but, you know, try to give us some of you guys' takes and inputs. And do you agree, disagree with me, with him, with neither of us? So let us know. Let us know. We talked about a lot of stuff. He and I go, you know, back and forth, ping pong a little bit. Love it.
Great stuff.
All right. We're going to get into our scenarios for today's episode. Don't worry.
Today.
We got y'all. We love you. We got your scenarios locked in, ready to go. So our first one is, someone explain this, please. I need advice. Okay, I'm leaving a date with a woman who I met 3 weeks ago. This would be our 4th date. Talk on the phone all the time, etc., etc. Last night, we get in our separate cars and drive off. About 10 minutes later, she calls from her car, and we're talking, keeping each other company since it's about a 50-minute drive, or a 50-minute later drive for both of us till we get home. While she's talking, I'm noticing this loud click sound. I interrupt her and ask, is your turn signal on? It's been on for a while. She then proceeds to tell me she hit something and she is driving slowly on 2 flat tires. Bruh.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Okay. We'd been on the phone for 41 minutes at that time. I looked at the screen at that moment. Am I crazy for thinking it's really weird someone would be experiencing something and just carrying on normal conversation like it isn't serious issue that's happening?
No. That by a mile is very much a red flag because
okay.
She don't take shit serious, you know?
That's true. She doesn't even take her own life serious.
Yeah.
Like, bro,
she's not taking your life serious. You're going to be accidentally killed, and she's not going to even be none the wiser.
Yeah, 100%. Fuck.
So, it could be anything, you know? Like, oh, I found this new fucking seasoning called arsenic, and I just put a bunch of that in your goddamn soup.
I heard Wolfbane's is great in pasta.
Yeah,
like, bruh.
And then you're fucking choking to death, and she's like, babe, why the fuck are you being so dramatic, dude?
It doesn't taste that bad.
It's probably spicy, but come on. And you're like, oh, what? And she's like, you're annoying, dude. I'm going to the bedroom. Locks herself in the bedroom. You're dead on the kitchen floor.
Yep. You're just found in the kitchen floor hours later. Just done.
And she probably will still be pretty pissed at you for fucking
dying,
pretending to be dead or whatever. Like, oh, you're so dramatic. Yeah.
Like, can't you believe this guy died on me?
Yeah.
My ex-boyfriend died. Imagine going on a date with a girl and she's just like, oh yeah, my ex-boyfriend died on me.
Yeah.
Can you fucking believe that? He fucking died on me. Yep. Piece of shit. And you're just like, what the fuck?
What did he say?
He what? He died. How did he die? Yeah. Oh, I just put this thing called arsenic in his drink.
You did what?
Yeah,
it was some new seasoning, but then I guess I found out it was poison later on. But I mean, he didn't have to be so mean about it.
Crazy, bro.
All right,
crazy.
I'm going to the bathroom.
Oh, 100% gone.
I'm out of there.
Yeah, bro. I do think you should stop seeing her.
100%.
Her emotional, her situational awareness is just not there.
Correct.
And the fact that her situational awareness is not there
means your life's in danger.
Yeah, which means that she's not gonna be very cognizant about things, right? You're gonna have to play double time, you know, with a lot of things, because the fact that she's just like, yeah, it's just, you know, my car's on fire, it's fine, it's fine. She plays GTA and she just gets into a car that's on fire and she's like, no, it's fine, I can make it. Boom, why did I blow up?
Yeah. And even if it's not your life, it's definitely your financial situation.
Oh, 1,000.
Because she don't, unless she's like the most mellow chick ever, she's like, yeah, I've got money for this, it'll be fine, you know what I mean? Like, the fact that she didn't pull over and get it taken care of is like, your pockets are going to be hurting because of her, so.
Yeah, because she's going to look at it like, oh, well, we have the money, why not spend it? And you're like, that was rent money.
Yeah.
What are you doing? We don't have money in our account. And she's like, but it was there. No. Yeah. I was holding on to that for rent. What do you mean? But it's in the account. So if it's in the account, I can spend it.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. That's not spending money. Like, that's what you're going to be dealing with, bro.
Thank God you guys were in separate vehicles.
Oh, bro.
She did not drive you to the date or anything.
Bro, because if I was in that car just hearing doom 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 doom, I'd be like, what the fuck? Pulled over. And she's like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Like, no.
She's like, you're interrupting my story.
Yeah,
fuck no.
I would have got out that bitch and tuck and rolled.
Yeah.
Hey, you can die by yourself.
Talking about I'm driving slow.
Crazy.
Yeah, she knew it was dangerous. Still was just like, whatever.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get on to the next one. Am I wrong for being upset my wife and her coworker friend got matching tattoos?
No.
So, details. My wife and I are friends with her coworker and his girlfriend. We talk about a friend matching. We all talk about a friend matching tattoo. The coworker's girlfriend backed out about a month prior, stating she doesn't like the tattoo design for our friend group. After hearing this, my wife says she doesn't think I should get it because it would be weird if it's the three of us and not the coworker girlfriend. You would think that she'd back out because of this too. I dislike the idea of them getting the tattoos alone. I state how that makes me feel, and I think we should find another design we all like. She agreed, and I thought the idea was on pause. Extra me and the coworker girlfriend had talks about how their relationship makes us feel, and we trust them, but we both feel emotional. They have something between them. So you and the girlfriend feel weird about her boyfriend and your girlfriend being friends. That's weird as fuck. That like they're super fucking close and that both their partners feel weird about that. Like that's mad. What the hell? Okay. Back to the story. A month passes. I'm out with friends and I get a text. They got the tattoo. Just them two. It has not, okay, hold on. Has not told, I was not told, okay, it was happening, and the design changed that they got the same exact tattoos and same placement. Later, I found out she didn't tell me about it on purpose. So, I was just curious. Am I overthinking this?
What? No. Go blow out his girlfriend. What? She lied to you? Got a matching tattoo with that dude?
Oh no!
And she didn't tell you about it? Go blow out his girlfriend. What are you doing?
The Rick 4 is just like,
I'm going to commit great crime. I'm going to bust nut in water
he's just
tower.
like, go out there and just commit crime. Who cares? Fuck it at this point. Morality, throw that bitch out the window.
That's the obviously immoral thing, but like,
yeah.
She's no longer your girlfriend.
Oh,
You're
1,000.
free. Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
If that girl stays with him, I mean, that's not your issue. But
because honestly,
yeah.
I would low key, okay, in a way, you saying that is like correct. Reason being, this is why. If say you talk to, his girlfriend and you're like, guess what? They got fucking matching tattoos and they didn't tell us on purpose.
Yeah.
That tells me that there's something going on between them.
Yes.
And they've either hooked up, they fucked, something like that.
Yes.
Like, hey, I think we should just break up with them and you and I, because they don't have respect for us. We seem to be kind of in this same boat. How about we go on a date and get to know each other, whatever? Because if I'm being honest with you, that's what I think that was their idea.
Yeah.
I think their idea was, I'm going to go get a girlfriend, you go get a boyfriend, and then that maybe will be a justification for us to be together. I don't fucking know. Either that or one of them had a significant other already.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, well, I need a significant other for my significant other so that way I can break up with them and then we can be together.
Interesting.
You know
That's
what I
very
mean?
Convoluted, but yeah, it makes sense.
It could happen. I'm giving perspective. I'm trying to give all the angles possible so that way he can, come at it with a clear and concise picture of what it was. He's not blindsided. He's not like, what the fuck, he's got options to kind of look at this the way that he's looking at it. Like, oh, you know what? Oh, that kind of makes sense because, my girlfriend was single, or my girlfriend's friend was single for the longest time. And then he got this girlfriend out of nowhere. Like, what was up with that? And then my girlfriend is super close with that girl. So did she introduced him to them and they kind of just got together off a whim? He might be able to put piece some puzzles together or whatever.
True.
Yeah, well, you never know.
Yeah, definitely. The fact that she was like, let me, manipulate this man. We're not going to get tattoos. You shouldn't get the tattoo. She's not going to get the tattoo. we're gonna wait and agree on a symbol or a design. So, and then she went, got that, probably with him, went and got that tattoo. And like he said, there is 0.0000000% chance that she went out with him without your knowledge and just got the tattoo.
Oh, 1,000.
They definitely had some other physical connection before they just got tattoos together.
Yeah, because you don't do that with just anybody.
Fuck no.
Like we've been friends for 20 years and we don't have matching tattoos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, bruh, you don't make that lifelong forever commitment on your skin unless you're as tight as thick as thieves with that fucking person.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, come on, man.
And for you to exclude your significant other just means that they definitely have done something.
Oh, yeah.
You're not overthinking it.
Yeah.
Break up with her immediately. If she lives with you, put her stuff on the front porch. Make sure she can't get in.
Yeah, because she'll be like that girl at the first video.
Yeah.
Breaking into your fucking house and trashing your shit.
Go blow out that guy's girlfriend.
Hey, as crazy as it sounds,
no,
man.
Look, brother. Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, what else are you supposed to do? Like, if she's nowhere near your type, then that's fine. Like, I get it. You know what I mean? But, like, no, if, like, you guys clearly have expressed, like, they're kind of weird together. And she's like, yeah, they are kind of weird together. And you're like, well, I guess we'll just keep an eye on it. And then they go do that.
Yeah.
100%, dude, because they're coworkers, you know. She's probably, like, at work getting tickled and shit, and you're over there.
1,000, bro! 1,000! Oh my god,
dude!
That is your girl's work husband, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yes. Yes.
100%.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, it's over, bro. Yeah. Cue the band on this relationship.
Cue the band. Getting tickled at work.
No.
Work husband.
All right, let's get into our next one, man. All right, caught my partner cheating with my sister. Damn. All right, I'm still trying to process everything that's happened. I've been with my partner for over 10 years, and we've been living together for 5. We've had our ups and downs like any other couple, but I never thought that he would cheat on me, especially not with my own sister. Bro, your sister is a snake, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I found out a few days ago when I saw a text message on his phone from her. At first, I thought nothing of it. It was just harmless conversation, but then I saw the words, I love you. Oh, shit. And my heart sank. I confronted him and he broke down and told me everything. They've been seeing each other behind my back for months. I'm not sure how to move forward from this. I feel betrayed by both of them and I don't know if I can ever trust them or trust either of them again. Has anyone else gone through something like this? How do you deal with it? I've never had this happen.
I never had that happen.
Yeah.
I'm also not really in a position to tell a woman what she should do because, you know, I know what men should do 100%, but like your own sister snaked you.
Yeah. I mean, he says it all the time. Like, your family is going to do you more dirty than a stranger will.
Yeah.
You know?
In this case, a stranger and your family did you dirty. So
yeah. So it's like you got both ends of the sword.
Yeah.
And look, my thing is I don't really think that's like 1,000% true that like we can't tell her, you know, what she should do, because if I'm being real with you, it would be the same as a guy. It's like, look, the best thing for you is to kind of just get those people out of your life. For one, you know what I mean? Block your sister. I wouldn't talk to her ever again just because it's like, bro, you've already snaked me. That's kind of crazy.
In the worst way, yeah.
Oh, in the worst way. And then obviously, you know, block him and move on from that and just kind of be on you. You know, be on your own time, because the thing is you're going to grow better on your own than you are with them regardless. And that's just how it's going to be. It's going to be lonely. It's going to suck. But if I'm being honest with you, man, I think you being by yourself and taking that that time to kind of just focus on you is going to be more beneficial than anything else that you do. It doesn't matter. Like for a guy, it's a little different. Of course, with the guy, I'd be like, nah, man, get in the gym, do this, and that. And I think you can do the same thing too. Get in the gym and, you know, start working on yourself, getting hobbies and all that. I still think that can, like work for a woman as well. But I think with women, it's far more like emotional than it is like kind of a physical, like doing stuff. Like for guys, we don't feel like shit gets fixed unless we're actually doing something. We can't just sit around and talk about our feelings. Like I can't just come to him and be like, damn, bro, this is how I'm feeling. He's like, damn, bro, that sucks. Yeah. I would walk away from that like, bro, this conversation didn't help me. Yeah. But if I came to him and he's like, well, bro, this is what you could do and this is how you could do it, then I walk away from it being more healthy. I'm like, cool. But for you, I think it would be more beneficial to just find somebody to talk to. Whether it's a friend, whether it's a therapist, whether it has to be somebody outside of the family for one. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Family not trustworthy.
1,000. Yeah, your family's not trustworthy at this point. So I would find somebody, whether it's a friend, it's a stranger, a coworker, just somebody that you feel comfortable opening up to about that and just talk to them about it. You know what I mean? And then just kind of do things that, you know, fulfill you. And I think that's the best way to go about it. You know, and if going to the gym and all that kind of stuff, you know, bettering yourself, getting a hobby, taking that hobby, working more, all that, if that's what you want to do, then you can do that. Obviously, that's a little more geared towards a guy, but I know some women enjoy that. Some women look at it like, you know, my boyfriend ruined my life, so I'm just going to go fucking bury myself in work, or I'm going to bury myself in fitness, or I'm going to do this and that. It's not impossible, but the advice I think that you need mainly is that emotional kind of, outward expression. You know, you just need to talk to somebody. You need to kind of just get it off your chest. Because I've noticed that helps women out a lot more than it helps out men. Men, we can't just talk about our shit and it's all hunky-dory. Women can do that for some reason. I don't know why, but that just seems to be what you guys are all about. So that's what I would say. That's my advice to you is, first, seek out somebody that you can open up to, whether it's a therapist, whether it's a friend, a coworker, whoever. Open up to them. Then after that, focus on you. Do the things that you want to do. Focus on work. Focus on a hobby. Focus on whatever it is that, you know, get your mind off of things during the day, you know?
Yeah, and that's why I would say definitely don't like be by yourself for a little bit, like a tad bit. I don't feel like women really do well with the whole loneliness like men do, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that really builds a man, is being lonely, because then from there you can build a lot by yourself, and then having people around you just makes it that much easier. Yeah. But with women, I feel like they just need more of that support system where it's like 100%. It's going to be tough trying to find people trustworthy in your eyes, because you're like, dude, this was my sister and my boyfriend or whatever.
The people I trusted the most.
Yeah,
like,
been
what the
with
fuck?
For 10 years. And after 10 years, he still fucking did that to you, you know? So it's like, I get it. And then for you, though, like, yeah, like he was saying, though, definitely find some other ways as well to, like, get your life in a better situation. You know what I mean? Like whether it's fitness, working, whatever the case may be. And then from there, once you elevate yourself, you'll find another man that will take you seriously and not be stupid after 10 years. I guess not even stupid, a piece of shit after 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 1,000.
It's like, it's just for you. I've never been in that situation, so I definitely wouldn't say. And I don't really, you don't hear those kind of things transpiring very often either. So I wouldn't just say like any dude is now at risk for cheating because you have a sister. You know what I mean?
But honestly, though, in the years I've been doing this show, it's a lot more common than you think. Okay. Because for me, I'm just like, how the fuck do you patent something like that? And the reason being is like, your sister knows that, like, your sister has to be extremely trifling, because it's like, bro, you know that I'm dating your sister. It's not a secret.
Yeah.
I'm not coming to you like, oh yeah, you know, oh, do you have a boyfriend or do you have a girlfriend? Oh no, I don't have a girlfriend. I'm single. Yeah. No, she knows off rip who you're dating. Yeah. She's blood related to the fucking person that you're dating. So I'm like, how do you patent that?
Yeah.
How does that come about, but it is so fucking common. It's crazy. And that's kind of why I'm like, you know, when this conversation came up to me, I'm like, man, another day in the office. I ain't gonna lie to you. So but like you said, that's why I gave her the advice of like, talking to somebody she trusts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And opening up to them, because
definitely make sure your sister's never in your life ever again.
Oh, 1,000. Because any boyfriend that you have, bro, she's gunning after that dude. Mm-hmm. She might cheat on him to get to your new boyfriend.
Yeah.
So it's like,
she
man.
might be just trying to collect your boyfriends at that point.
Facts. Or either that, or she just looks at it like, I just love watching her crumble.
Yeah.
There are people like that. It's terrible, but
for her, like you said, it could just be like a whole like I gotta prove I'm better than my sister by getting stealing her boyfriends or whatever, So for sure, I think that's good.
All right, let's get on to our next one. What do I do? My boyfriend is rarely ever horny for me anymore. 19 female, my boyfriend 20 male. Damn. Okay. There must be something really wrong if you're this young. When I was 20, man, I was popping boners for anything. Even if a lamp looked like a vagina, I'm like, yeah, damn, I'm hard as fuck right now. Like, bro. All right, let's see what's up. Started a relationship with sex. We bonded over sex and our mutual kinkiness. He used to want to give me... He used to want me to give him attention, and he gave me attention very frequently. He even used to get pretty mad at me if I didn't want to talk to him, or I didn't want to talk him to orgasm. Okay. Red flag, I know.
Yeah, talk him talk to him until he, yeah.
Oh, all right. As long as you get it, cool. Is that like dirty talk? Is that what?
Yeah, like dirty talk.
Oh, okay, okay, all right, cool.
Maybe like a countdown kind of thing.
Oh, okay, all right. That's weird, but sure.
Yeah, some people are into that shit. You know what I mean?
All right, hey, freaks. No, I was kidding.
They have mutual kinks. So I think that's what it was.
Yeah. All right. No, that's cool. That's cool. You freak. No. It's been 4 months and we have lived together most of the time. And honestly, it only felt like he truly wanted me for the first month and a half. We only have sex like once a week at this point, and I have to beg to get any of the pleasure that he used to give me. And when I come on to him, he either rejects me or just seems uninterested in me. Trying to make him feel good, he was texting other girls on dating apps secretly for most of our relationship too, and was regularly watching porn in the bathroom and next to me while I was asleep. I know this is embarrassing that I put up with this. We have a very intense fight about this, and he has stopped, but he still won't seem very sexually interested in me. And I have caught him watching porn pretty quickly after this too. He has some very vulgar and time-consuming porn habits. Outside of sex, he is very affectionate and attentive and sweet and says I'm sexy and beautiful, or occasionally is like I'm not even there, or occasionally it's like I'm not even there, or he'll make very hurtful jokes or comments about my body, comparing me to other girls. So I don't know. I feel like I'm getting treated like shit by my best friend and the only guy I've wanted or liked this much. But sometimes I feel like he doesn't even want me.
Yeah, this is that epidemic they talk about where porn ruins certain men. He's too into the fantasy realm where reality kind of sucks.
He's got the Don John effect.
Yeah. And he's gonna do this to any woman that he gets with. Yeah. What he needs to do is seek help for his porn addiction.
Yeah.
Once he does that and only gets the pleasure from real life, that's when things will start to look better for him. I'll be honest, I don't know if that's gonna be with you, because at the end of the day, it's very early on in his need for help.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you'll stick around for that long, I also don't know if he'll ever even acknowledge the fact that he does need help or try to get help or whatever the case may be. But
yeah, his acknowledgement of wanting to get help, I think, will answer that question.
Yeah.
If he's forthwith to be like, you know what, babe, you're right. I do need to get some help for this. It is a bit of addiction. All right, I'll take the steps. What do you suggest? Or I'm gonna look some stuff up. Then okay, stick around a little bit. But if he's just like, no, I don't have a problem. Like my point ain't the issue. It's this or it's that. He's deflecting. Then that'll let you know. Take his advice and just get the fuck up out of there because he's not going to change.
It made a lot of sense when you talked about like your kinks intertwining.
Yeah.
He had specific things that he wanted you to do, and then you had specific things for him, and then you had to start begging for it, and then it just kind of like tapered off, where it almost sounded exactly like, you know, you have one category of porn that you really fuck with, and then you start fucking bouncing all over the place, and it's like they say on like online or whatever, where it's like you start needing like more and more hardcore shit to really start to get off, and then from there it bled into the idea of like he doesn't see you at the same way that he saw you, as well as he's just absolutely bored with you because he just needs that stronger dopamine hit. And so from there, especially like he said at the early age of 19 and 20, there's 0% reason that
you should not want to have sex with your girlfriend.
Yeah,
that's crazy, bro.
Especially if she's coming on to you, you know, like, oh God, boobs? No, I don't. You know what I mean? Like, he just sounds gay. You know what I mean? And from there, he's already not gay. He's just bored with you specifically. So it's nothing on you. Nothing on you.
Yeah, 100%.
It's all on him.
Don't think that this is on you because you're doing everything that you can.
Yeah.
Because my criticisms when it comes to these types of relationships is like, bro, you've either gained some weight or you're walking around the house looking like a goddamn goblin. You need to do your hair, put on something cute for him, look good. But I think you're doing those things.
Yeah, it sounds like it is. Yeah.
Because you're coming on to him. You're doing things that you're like, oh, I know this pleasures him. I know that this is a turn on for him. So I don't think that that's what's going on in this relationship. And that's why I would not give that advice to you. I know you're doing what you need to do. It is him.
It is
and like he said, that is going to be your split decision right there. You're going to tell him, hey, you have a porn issue, and you need to get help for that. Yeah. And if he deflects and is like, no, it's not this, blah, 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 cool, you're out of there. You are out of there, man. That's a third strike, baby. You're done. But if he does, look at it like, you know what, you're right, let me get some help and this and that, work on him with it. Stick it out a little bit. So.
Yeah. Because if he can't realize the idea of like the ones and zeros on his phone are taken away from the real life aspect of like you two, or if he doesn't care, then like, you just need to get out of there. If he can't realize, or if he doesn't care, get out of there. If he starts to connect the dots of like, what kind of partner am I being? This is really fucking with, the person that's real in front of me. Then it's like, all right, he's starting to come back to earth. He's just not fully there because he needs help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
1,000. All right. I did forget this video.
Okay.
We want to do this one. We're going to do this one before we close out.
All right.
So did you want to give context of this video? You might want to.
Yeah. So the context of this video is just, we talk about on the show a little bit of the idea of family, right? And I think for me, like I said, very straight up, blood doesn't mean anything for family because it depends on your actions. You know what I mean? And the older you get, the harder it is to really break away from that. But at the same time, actions will still play into whether or not your family should be in your life. You know what I mean? And so this is a prime example of what I was talking about before, of like, not before, but what I've mentioned before of like family should not be in your life just because of blood, Mm-hmm. So this is a prime example as to ignoring the idea of your family not being right for you in your life, and ignoring it because of the blood connection you guys have.
Okay. All right, let's get on into it. Mom's is even walking like a gangster too, like, got something for you, bitch. Oh shit! it does show.
Oh god.
It does show. I didn't see it at first. You can barely see it.
Yeah,
but
you can
like,
barely see it.
But you can see it.
Yeah, you could put like a logo over there or something.
Yeah. Bro, she fucking sorry Fredo'd her.
Yeah.
Like, that's not funny, but like, I didn't, because, okay, we watched the video beforehand.
Yeah, and I think the logo kind of covered it or something.
It kind of well, okay, not the beginning, because you can see her like collapse into into the thing. Yeah, you can't see the mom because, okay, it's kind of blurry, but the mom followed his wife into their bedroom, and the wife was looking in the drawer, and she then pulls out a schman, you know, a bit of one of these right here. Hold on, you know, and points it at the back of her head, and she's just like, takes her shit out. Yeah. And you can see her fall in the video. Yeah. The pillar covers the mom. Okay. But like on the side, you can see the wife collapse. Okay. Yeah. And it's not just one. She's just like. Yeah. Like she did that multiple times. Like, bro.
She machine gunned.
Woo.
But this is exactly what I was talking about. For the viewers that don't really speak Spanish, she shot her. She screamed, and she was like, "Oh shit!" She's screaming. Blasted her some more. The husband ran in and was like, "What are you doing, you crazy lady?
This is your family."
Yeah, he said, "This is my family, right?" Okay. So like, she's my family, right? Yeah. Basically, like, that's my wife. Why the fuck would you kill her, right?
100%. And that's his mom, by the way.
Yeah, his mom was like, "No, you're my family." She said, I didn't do anything. She pissed me off, right? And he was like, what do you mean? Like, that's my family, right? And then she was like, no, you're my family. She took you from me, right? And so that was like the whole argument of like, she just got jealous of her, right? Yeah. She saw someone younger, more beautiful than her. I guess he was probably spending a little bit too much time with her, in her opinion, in the mom's opinion. Yeah, and so she was like, I'm going to kill her, right?
Yeah.
But I guarantee this was not out of nowhere. And so there's more info on the story in other articles, but the son, the man in this that's carrying her baby, waited an hour to call 911. And this is what I talk about, where it's like, the idea of blood really gets in people's head. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because he's like, this is my mom, this is my blood, I can't call 911. And granted, shock, yada, yada, yada. But, I mean, at the end of the day, me personally, right, as much as I love my mom, I'm not letting her kill someone, like kill my wife.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, I would have been in blind rage and I would have killed her.
That's interesting, for sure.
Because it's just,
I had the same thoughts, you know.
Yeah, I mean, just think about it. It's because they have a kid.
Yeah.
It's not like it's just them two, you know. Like, we have a child together.
Yes.
And my thing is holy fuck, how long have I been bringing my kid around a fucking killer?
Yeah.
If you're so easily capable of this, just because you got mad, that's it. There's no justification.
Yeah.
Like, if y'all threw dukes, cool.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. Like, you know, but she went straight to that level of violence. Yeah, no, bro, I would probably be in a blind rage, and you know, that it would be my failure point as a father, because I'm going to jail and my daughter, you know, needs a dad at that time because I don't have a mom no more. But I'm just saying, it's like, I know you'd be in that blind rage, bro.
Yeah, and that's why it's like, for myself, I don't know really what I would do. One, because in a very specific scenario for me, like, my mom is nowhere near capable of, you know, killing people.
Yeah.
And so, even with her have been a Marine, right? Having been a Marine, she never saw combat. Thank God, she never had to do anything like that. However, I just know from her aspect that she isn't capable mentally, not because she couldn't protect people, but because in her mind there'd be no justification to take a life.
Yeah.
So if this happened, I'd be like, what? I'd be blown away, right? I'd be like, what the
1,000.
However, me and my mom both understand that because we had this conversation of like, would you protect me from the law? We both understand like, no, accountability comes first, you know, in our dynamic, right?
Yeah,
so it's like, it's the same thing where I'm like, dude, for him, he was like, dude, this is blood. I don't know if I can call the cops on her. But I'm like, you know, your baby that you're holding now has the rest of his or her timeline erased with the mother being in it, because your mom got so jealous. And like we were saying before, this was probably not the first instinct of like, all right, you know, my mom's a little crazy. I need to figure some things out because I don't know what she'll do. You know what I mean? This was probably a long time coming, or like there were signs before, and he just ignored them because you're like, well, she's blood. There's nothing I can do. You know what I mean? And so for me, this is where I'm like, I don't feel like you should be moved in with family unless you are so absolutely sure that they're incapable of this kind of stuff. Like with me and you, right? Obviously, we would live with our moms because there's no way we would like that would happen. You know what I mean? It's impossible. It's an impossible scenario, unless it was like self-defense. You know what I mean? That's different. But this, I know for a fact, would not come from my side of the family. You know what I mean? Or same thing for you. Like this would not happen, right? Like any woman that like I would get involved with or whatever, like even with my wife's family, right? I know as much as they have their issues, stuff like that, they're not just going to come kill me one day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or you're not going to go and kill them.
Yeah. Like we've been together for 12 years. If I was a target of being killed, I would have been killed by now. You know what I mean? So like it's the same thing here where like there's probably signs the son was like, I gotta ignore them because of blood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he probably ignored those signs and kept her around. Wow.
And this is why as men and as women, you need to not let blood blind you, because shit like this will happen. Then you're robbing your children, your future generations, and all the people that they're connected to from a life, all because you want to ignore the idea of blood. You know what I mean?
1,000, man. Hey, crazy show today. Absolutely crazy episode. Thank you guys for being here, watching, listening, and all that good stuff. If you got this far in the episode, man, definitely go ahead and support us out there by downloading the episode, rating us 5 stars on your preferred platform, as well as following us on Instagram, TikTok, as well as YouTube. All of the links are down in the description. Patreon.com/Am I the Asshole Podcast. Get that exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenario to be featured on the Tuesday and Sunday show, like these lovely people did for today. Anything to close out, Rig 4?
Again, thank you for support. It's always much appreciated. Keep sending in your videos. Keep being better people. I love the dynamic we have of giving advice, giving to the community, having the community give back. So it's much appreciated. Like I said, if you want any type of more one-on-one advice or whatever, you can message me, and then I can also relay it to the show, and then vice versa, stuff like that. So thank you guys so much for watching.
All right, man. We're up out of here. I will see you guys on Tuesday for another episode, and then he'll be back on Sunday.
Yep.
So we love you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.